would you walk away this time? Do you realize, do you recognize it's never over? Or would you walk away this time? 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light in the dead of the night. Will we rise above the days to come? Will it be enough? Or will we walk away this time? Look to your left, to your right, there by your side. 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light in the dead of the night. Feel that rush through time. Can you feel this? You found change. Only yourself are here again.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Serenity Gaming Wintersplit Division 1 match between Chimaera and Oldboys. I'm Kaczka, and I'm joined this time in color casting by Milky.
Thanks for that, Kaczka. And it's coming up. I'm feeling very colourful today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We have a very interesting match because currently both of these teams, they are sitting in the lower half of the Division 1 and they will be looking to pick up some points today.
Yeah, and that does lead us on to Oldboys. They were at the bottom of the table for so long, but then they got that win that no one expected against Virgo. And I feel like everyone now in SRG is just thinking, can they do it again today?
Yeah, now this is the big question because they played against Hydra, I believe, in the meantime, and even though they got 0-2, I feel like the game, at least game 1, was pretty close from Oldboys. So once we're on Oldboys, let's actually focus on that team. What are you looking forward to in seeing for them?
Well, we have to look at Yorick Mori and Retub Sativa because once they came into the team and started playing, I feel like that's when Oldboys came alive. And Sativa on the Rek'Sai, I feel is really clean. And Mori, I do want to see him take that cannon because he's got 12 KDA ratio after 3 games. So it has to be respected. And if Chimaera don't ban it out, I expect Mori to pick it 100%.
Right, that is something to look forward to, and you know, also their jungler Retub Sativa, his Rek'Sai is beyond clean in my opinion. Would not be surprised to see that banned away.
Also, we kind of have to watch out for the Sejuani. He's only played 4 games so far, but 50% of them on Rek'Sai and 50% on Sejuani. So I'm also kind of interested to see if he will, what else is in his champion pool for competitive play.
Right, I mean, he does like to play those ganking junglers. He can gank the lanes a lot, and he does often do so with success. However, right now maybe taking over at Chimaera. What do you think we can see from them today? How will they try to play in order to win the match today?
Well, I'm going to go and look at Prompo because I felt that he was one of the decent players in the game yesterday against Hillerod, and I do want to see the Nocturne come out. I mentioned it yesterday, and that's because Nizik has played Shen once or twice, and I feel like if we saw a Shen Nocturne combo, it could be really, really good. Also, watch out for Godfrey because he played really well yesterday as well, and I think that he could be one of the important players for the side of Chimaera tonight.
Yeah, Godfrey, he likes to play these playmakers, Thresh, Alistar, Braum, Pike. He likes to play them all, and it will be actually KZZ playing AD carry for Chimaera, and his playstyle, he really likes more maybe early tuned AD carries like that Caitlyn, Lucian or Ezreal.
Yeah, and if we do see an Lucian, expect Godfrey to try to get a Braum, so either it'll be banned away or he will try to pick it because we know how strong Lucian Braum is. Also watch out for the likes of a Caitlyn Morgana bot lane. I mean, Caitlyn Morgana was stupidly strong, I think, last season, and it's still a very strong lane combo this year.
Definitely, and Caitlyn as a champion itself has so many of those different spikes. It is strong literally every single point in the game. So wouldn't be surprised to see it either picked or banned. Most likely banned because KZZ has shown to be able to play it.
Also, we have to continuously watch out for this Karthus jungle because it's just something that if you do pick a passive jungler, the Karthus jungle can come out, because if you are playing Karthus jungle, the only thing you're really worried about is the enemy team picking like a Xin Zhao, a Lee Sin, even a Gragas, something that can absolutely annihilate you early game and make it take even longer for your Requiem to deal a lot of damage.
Definitely, and even the Elise has been recently popping up here and there. Could be a potential pick. I believe that the team is slowly getting ready, so we could be getting into the pro draft in a couple of minutes. Predictions for the bans. What do you think we will be seeing taken off?
I'm going to say we're going to see the Karthus being banned. I think that can come through from either side. But I feel like Chimaera are definitely going to ban away the Kennen and the Rek'Sai away from Mori and Sativa. So watch out for that coming through as probably Chimaera's first two bans.
Zillion is the one actually taken away, and Fiamzu has played it. He did pretty well on it in the middle lane, so that is the story behind this ban. And Oldboys decide to take away the Lucian.
Yeah, and now the Rek'Sai ban is coming through, but as you mentioned earlier, with how strong an early game ADC is, Lucian has been banned.
Vladimir is well taken away. I believe that Hivian does like to play in the middle lane. We'll see if Chimaera actually decide to focus around this Kennen, or maybe they have something that they know will be able to be played around with. Actually, the Aatrox ban will be the one coming through.
And Aatrox is a really strong top laner at the minute, but something that Hat and I were discussing yesterday, which I found quite interesting, is if you do see a Sion, and Sion usually a really safe lane, something like a Kennen counters it really well. So I feel like now that Kennen's open, Oldboys could take it as their first pick, unless maybe Chimaera actually take it for their first.
Oh, Chimaera actually focusing on the Zoe. It's a very strong mid laner, especially if you can get her ahead.
And with the Zoe up now, it leads me to think that Chimaera are going for a poke comp, so we could possibly see a Karthus coming through soon as well from Chimaera.
Okay, that will be a very strong composition, but we touched on the Caitlyn, and it will be now the pick going into Supreme. And I feel like the bowling from Oldboys, they have been pretty consistent throughout their few last games, and getting a Caitlyn Thresh lane is definitely a good look for them.
Yeah, so prioritizing that bot lane, the Caitlyn Thresh, which is really, really good, because when Thresh does land a death sentence, Caitlyn has so much time to lay a trap behind whoever has been stunned, as Ezreal is going to be picked in, which is quite a nice safe option. So expect a safe support going to come through, maybe an Alistair, maybe a Tahm Kench, maybe even a Morgana, as that hasn't been banned yet.
Maybe even a Braum. There are many choices for which Godfrey can go right now, and it does seem like Chimaera, they are going for that poke composition you mentioned. Zoe, Ezreal, Jace is still open, could be picked up in that top lane. We will have to see what they decide to prioritize. There is still 5 seconds on the clock, and Braum will be their support of choice.
So Braum will be locked in. Also, if we're going to see a poke comp, you mentioned the Jace, but I also think that an Urgot could be picked up as well.
I think it could. It does grant you quite nice priority up in the top lane. Not too many things that can go up against it. Well, Oldboys, do we see some Kennen? That is my question. Or Yasuo, I will take it.
And I quite like this because you've got the Yasuo combo with the Thresh. I think the Death Sentence gives a very brief knockup, but the Flay definitely does give a slight knockup. So we could see a really nice wombo combo team coming out from Oldboys.
We could, and also that wind wall for Yasuo. It does allow you to block the Zoe damage, to block most of the Ezreal damage, so Oldboys will be very happy as the Urgot ban is coming through, so Chimaera will not be able to pick that champion for themselves.
Yeah, and Oldboys trying to deny the poke damage as Chimaera ban off the Silas. We have wanted to see that, but going back to the Yasuo, because he's got so much maneuverability, I do feel that he is not a major, but as a little counter to Zoe with the wind wall that can block the Sleepy Trouble bubble. But again, the Kennen is still open here, as is the Sejuani, and neither teams have picked their bot lane or top laner yet, as Xin Zhao banned, which again leads me to think that there could be a Karthus here, as they are denying such an early game jungler.
Taking away that invade potential does open up for something more defensive. You talk about the Karthus. Well, I'm not sure if Retep will want to prioritize it, since he does like to gank a lot, but it would make sense in the composition. Chimaera, they are looking for the last ban, so 5 seconds, just waiting for it. Silas was taken off. Retep has practiced it in his solo queue, and Nocturne will be another ban that will be removed from the table.
And again, it's something that I mentioned before, that I would like to see Oldboys take the Nocturne Shen combo. So with the Nocturne gone now, it makes it less likely that Shen is going to be taken, as Sejuani is locked in.
Vedep will be sitting on that champion. He now does have that potential to try and influence some of the lanes, so I will be, for one, looking forward to what he does. But now Chimaera, they will need to finish off their compositions. What do you think we will be able to see, as Zac is the first champion?
Locked in. However, I just want to mention, Sejuani could be flexed to top lane. I think that's still a thing. Also, Yasuo, as although we don't see a lot, but he could go to top laner depending on this pick, which I do expect to be a Kennen. I'm very certain that this is going to be a Kennen for Chimaera.
It could also be a Poppy, I think, right now. You have the Zac in Chimaera, and Poppy top lane, it just does very well into Zac. You have the Thresh as well. Chimaera, though, they have got the engage jungler, and Kennen will actually be taken against Oldboys.
Right, so Oldboys now have the opportunity to try to counter that Kennen some way. So I'm just trying to think of champions that you could somewhat, or not get countered by Kennen with. So you have Aatrox being banned, Urgot's being banned, the Vlad's being banned. I feel that maybe we're not going to see a side. Oh, Yorick! I like this pick.
Yorick Mori. The name is there. He does play the champion, I think. And that is a very strong split pusher if he can get his foot on the pedal.
I completely forgot there was a reason why Yorick's always banned against Oldboys, and that's because Yorick Murray plays a lot of Yorick. And I do like they've left this pick open right until the end. And I feel like Oldboys have quite a strong composition here, but I don't know. Chimaera have a really nice poke pick, and if Kennen can get a nice slicing maelstrom off, followed by the Zat elastic slingshot, getting the ult back, Chimaera could win this. But for Oldboys, their win condition is going to come down to the Yorick splitting in the side lane, maybe the Yasuo splitting as well. We could see Oldboys either going for a 1-3-1 or a 1-4 composition.
That is the possibility. You do want to have that Yorick in a side lane. On the other side, you don't have that much of contention. You said it, Kennen wants to team fight. So now that we are recreating the draft in that champions in the client, we have some time to talk about the match. So let's take it lane by lane. We have the top lane, Kennen versus Yorick. What do you think we can expect there?
I feel like this is going to be one of those interesting lanes where I think that this could determine the game. Yorick is one of those champions that even if he doesn't pop off, he can still do so much in terms of objective damage in the side lane. So I feel that in terms of jungler presence, it won't be focused there. However, the Zac may focus in on that top lane just to try to get Kennen ahead, because if Kennen can get strong when he does rotate, whether it's mid or bot or just in a generic team fight, he can deal loads of damage with that slicing maelstrom.
Right, well, that is what we are looking at in the top lane. Jungle, Zac versus Sejuani, tanks, ganks. Is there anything else that we are really looking at? Retep and Prompo will definitely both be trying to gank some of the lanes and get some pressure, because I don't think neither of them really have some top tier invading.
Now, I want to look at this mid lane, and of course the jungler presence that comes with the mid lane. Yasuo is an extremely mobile champion. If he has pushed in, or if he is just playing really aggressively, he can use the E to fall back through the minions towards his own turret. However, Zoe is less mobile, especially before 6. And even when she's 6, she does have the ultimate, but she ends up going exactly back to where she was beforehand. So it's not really useful in terms of mobility. So I do expect to see the Sejuani turning up a few times into that mid lane. But in terms of ganking presence for the Zac, I do think he's going to be focusing in that top lane. Also in the bot lane, the bot lane is going to be a bit harder to gank just because you have a Thresh. And Thresh can sometimes just sit a little bit back and just have the option of the Dark Passage to give Caitlyn that escape mechanism. Also, Caitlyn has the E as well, which gives her escape. And Braum Ezreal is going to be really hard to gank regardless. So I feel like the jungle presence will be either in that mid lane or the top lane.
So you touched just on the bottom lane, and I feel like we can now turn towards that, because we've got the Ezreal Braum, a very safe lane, as you rightfully have pointed out. It is nearly impossible to gank, and then Caitlyn and Thresh, they will have the pressure, in my opinion, and Supreme and Madlife have been a consistent performing lane for the side of Oldboys. I am just looking forward to seeing if they can utilize that pressure that they have gotten themselves in picks in order to build up some advantages, maybe get some of those platings, and in the meantime avoid all of the ganks that Chimaera might throw at them.
Yeah, so I'm fully expecting the Oldboys bot lane just to try to shove this in as much as possible. Caitlyn really strong early with that headshot damage, so expected to try to shove this in and poke it out as much as possible. KZZ has opted for the teleport at the minute. We'll see if he does change it, but he'll probably stick with the TP, which just means that if he does get poked out, he has the option to TP back into lane and not lose so much CS. So expect Oldboys to shove in the bot lane, and maybe we could see Madlife try to rotate with Sativa to get a gank off onto the Zoe in the mid lane.
And now, as we are going into the spectator delay and summoners are locked in, you touched on the teleport. What is more interesting in my opinion is the choice of summoner for Hivian. You mentioned the setup in the middle lane. Redhead coming in with the Glacial Prison into Fiamzu with his last breath is hard to escape, as Zoe especially, and I don't really see any cleanse, which, well, I mean, is there any particular reason? Is it even worth considering the amount of CC, and what do you think about what Hivian went for?
Right, so if Hivian wanted to go cleanse, sure, he could try to cleanse the tornado. But the thing is, even if he cleanses it, Fiamzu could still just ult in. Like, as soon as it lands, he could just ult. And he would have decided that before he goes for that tornado anyway. The cleanse would have been really useful for Sativa, but I think one of the most useful things of the exhaust for Hivian, for Hivian, is the fact that if Zac decides to gank on Fiamzu, the exhaust will reduce the maneuverability of Fiamzu to dodge any skill shots. So this does give the possibility of a gank onto that mid lane if Fiamzu plays a little bit too aggressive.
And that is one of the lanes we really have to watch when it comes to Snowball, because both Yasuo and Zoe, once they get some kills, once they get their first item before their counterparts or earlier than you would have normally expected, they have got many tools to snowball the lane out of proportions, and we have seen both of the mid laners pull out some carry performances. Fiamzu has been usually the person to pick up the kills to try and carry Oldboys until Redep has shown up, from which point he played more of that Zillion, but now is back on the Yasuo. And Hivian, he has had some nice performances, he has had some not so nice performances, but he has shown to be a carry, and with the champions that are currently sitting in that middle lane, we do have to watch that lane, because once someone gets ahead, he can take over the entire game.
Yeah, and I feel like Hivian is really good. In fact, yesterday when he played against Hellsinger, he was one of the few laners who was almost holding his own. And I do feel that Chimaera will have to rely on him somewhat, especially with the amount of damage he can do poke-wise. However, I want to touch on this jungler matchup, because both of these junglers do build their Warmog's armor. Now, Warmog's armor, I feel, is slightly more useful on the Zac than Sejuani, because Zac can engage, he can then leave on low HP, he can get back up to full health, but then he can re-engage much quicker. And I feel that Oldboys are going to have to be extremely respectful of that re-engage for Zac, especially when he does finally get his Warmog's armor and has hit the Warmog's passive limit, which is where you get 3000 HP, and that's when the Warmogs will eventually kick in.
Yeah, and at that point, those regenerations, they are very impactful. Exactly what you said. You can go in, you can get out, regen all that HP, and in 10 seconds you're ready to fight again. And you know, if Retep opts for it, I think it could also work, considering that you have got that poke coming in from Zoe and Ezreal. KZ and Hivian will dish out a lot of long-range damage come mid-game, so if Retep actually goes for some of the regenerations, it can also have quite a lot of value, as we should be getting into the game in a couple of minutes, guys. So let us know in the chat, who do you think is going to win? Will it be Chimaera or will it be Oldboys? We'll take a look in just a second and give you some very accurate statistics about who you voted for.
Right, so I'm just taking a quick look at all the summoners. Zac and Sejuani have gone for the Aftershock, which makes a lot of sense. Braum going with the Guardian, again makes sense. Thresh Aftershock, normal. Ezreal Kleptomancy, normal. Caitlyn has gone for the Fleet Footwork. Lethal Tempo, Press the Attack are kind of viable, but Fleet Footwork makes sense just for that sustain. Yorick has gone Conqueror. And don't forget the Yorick passive, where no one understands what on earth he does, so he just automatically wins the game. And Kennen has gone Aftershock. And Kennen, I feel, is one of those champions which can take a variety of some of the spells, including Domination. So he's taken a bit more of a safe rune page.
Alright, that is interesting, because, well, I mean, you don't usually run Aftershock for that. I think maybe what the reason behind it is that when you go in, you can survive for more. Yesterday, I think I lost to Diana top lane Aftershock, because she got a few kills, and then once she went in, you couldn't kill her, but she killed you. So that might be the theory crafting, as I believe we are now getting into the game. Oldboys versus Chimaera, game 1 of this best of 3. Let's go.
And all the players currently fanning out. I was interested to see whether Oldboys, specifically with Mad Life on the Thresh, would go for a sneaky little invade, but they will all just fan out and guard all the entrances to the jungle.
Yeah, I don't think Tyne is playing, so no 5-man invades. Mad Life will just stick around, and typical cover coming in from both of these teams. Nothing really that surprising just yet.
Ezreal, just want to mention this out, as Supreme gets off a nice little Q onto Ezreal to get off a little bit of damage. However, the Ezreal has gone for the door and the shield, so taking the safe laning item makes a lot of sense, especially considering how much damage we mentioned that the Caitlyn and Thresh will be doing in that early game.
Yeah, they will be doing quite a bit. Retep does seem to go for the red buff. For now, he's posturing around that top side, and Prompo will also go down to his bot side. Red buff, so both of the junglers are starting on that buff. Nothing really that surprising. We'll see if Supreme and Mad Life choose to push the wave, or will they give a fake leash. For now, they just seem to go in.
Yeah, and both junglers will be going for that red buff, so I'm fully expecting to see some, what's it called, vertical jungling. I don't think we're going to see any invades just yet. Zac might go straight for the Scuttle Crab, just to prevent Sejuani getting off a possible gank.
It could happen. And something, oh actually it's the hook connects onto KZZ. He will take quite a big chunk of damage, I'm gonna lie. However, he will be very safe on that Ezreal. And some things that we need to look at this game is Oldboys. They had that win against Virgo, and at least for me it looked like they were a team reborn with Retep on that Sejuani. What I'm looking at is if they can actually repeat that success now against Chimaera.
And what we really need to watch out for is in this bot lane right now, because as soon as Oldboys hit 2, if Ezreal decides to put his point in W instead of E, he will have no maneuverability. So if he gets hit by a death sentence like there, and Thresh decides to go all in on that, he could be a very dead Ezreal.
He could be, however, it won't come out. The vertical jungling, as you said, might just get set up. Prompo will get the blue buff, and Retep does not answer, so he might just lose out on this trade if Prompo is fast enough.
I'm just checking. I don't think... Does he have Smite available? I think he used it already. But, oh, he will get out. I think he's got E, so...
Yeah, does have the elastic slingshot. Will just jump away to safety. Yes, Madlife is roaming down. If he connects that death sentence, could be big. He does not go for it. In the end, and Propo a nice invade, getting that blue buff away. Redtap will be behind in experience for the time being.
Right. He's gonna try to contest the rift.
Oh. Yeah, he does get knocked up with that Steel Tempest. There is this stamp from the Permafrost. He might just get pulled out into Cell Vision Flash forward. Foam Redtap gets him popped back into those cells. Fiamzu might just get it. Oh, the teleport is being channeled right now by Nizik. Exhaust is sticking down. Prompo so low. He gets out with that. Elastic String Redemption City is running over. The first blood goes in favor of Hivien. As Fiamzu, he's looking to get chased down the Paddle Star. Does not connect, and the first blood will go in favor of Chimaera.
And Fiamzu with a Steel Tempest, he almost killed Prompo as he came out of the passive. But what happened in the side there was Prompo used the Elastic Slingshot, got over to the Raptor Pit, but he almost got killed by the Raptors. He went down to about 5 HP as we've got a little skirmish in the bot lane.
That will just Arcane, shift away to safety. He actually gets caught by the Yorul Snaptrap. The Death Sentence connects onto Ghostfire, and Supreme gets the kill with an auto attack. Ghostfire is ignited down. That is the peeled over Peacemaker and an auto attack from Madlife to finish it off.
Yeah, the Ignite I don't think was going to tick again, so Madlife just doing a bit of kill securing there, making sure that nothing could possibly go wrong. But the key thing here is Nizik doesn't have a TP after that play. So we could see possibly Mori making a rotation and the Kennen being unable to answer now.
It is definitely a possibility. And the bot lane from Oldboys is already getting kills as Yorick Mori. He is chunked down fairly low. Nizik definitely getting the better end of that trade. Will force him under the tower, and coming back into my point. Supreme and Madlife, they have been the consistent people on Oldboys, and them getting the kills could be big if they can translate them into some bigger advantages.
Yeah. And again, we mentioned that the Ezreal Braum was supposed to be this safe lane, but the issue is, even if you use the Arcane Shift on Ezreal, if you've already been hit by the Death Sentence, Thresh can still dash to you. Sure, he'll dash a bit further, but he will still get to you and will be able to get off some CC. He's only level 4, but watch out for Ezreal, because Ezreal is one of those champions who does get strong in that mid game when he can start to buy his tier.
I'd say watch out for top lane. Nizik uses the Lightning Rush. He does get knocked up. The Permafrost is coming through. He still has the Flash, so if he decides to use it, he should get out to safety. The Aftershock is popped. However, here comes Propo, a double knockup with the Elastic Slingshot and a lot of damage coming through. Nizik gets the first kill, and Propo will get the second one. A great turnaround from Chimaera.
Prompo, that was a beautiful stretching strikes from you. How did you manage that? And then Nizik with the Flash E, I believe, to just get a little bit of damage, and I think he got a CC off, and that is really nice. Kennen now 1-0-2.
Prompo coming in for that gang, absolutely clutch in the end. And as you mentioned, Nizik 1-0-2 has got that level 6, no teleport for coming back into the lane yet, but a Kennen that is ahead is a very, very scary one.
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing now for the side of Oldboys is the fact that the Sejuani is 0-2, which means Zac will just be able to bully her that little bit more, especially in terms of counter ganking and invading jungles.
And as we are slowly nearing the 7th minute of the game, the goal lead has been equalized. You know, I talked about Supreme and Madlife, and I think enough has been said for the time being. However, Chimaera, they are setting up some of the potential carries on their own. Hivien has got 1 kill. Nizik now also has 1 kill, and if either Zoe or Kennen get ahead, then in the mid game, they could be the primary carries that their team needs.
I'd also like to direct you towards the CS in the top lane, because Kennen, while he's got the kill and the assist, he has so little CS relative to his counterpart Yorick Mori, which means that those kills don't actually make a difference, because in terms of goal wise, if I check gold, it's pretty much exactly the same. Mori's only 200 gold behind. Kennen has also opted for the Doran's Blade, and as I mentioned, items are fairly similar.
Yorikmori does pop the Maiden up into the top lane, probably looking to put down some pressure or just get more of that CS. As you have mentioned, he has built up a pretty sizable CS lead, but another place where there is a CS lead is mid lane. Fiamzu is 15 CS ahead of Hivian. However, Prompo might be looking for a gank. The last slingshot does not connect. The hook that's onto KZZ. He will eat quite a bit of damage, but Unbreakable from Godcry will save him from getting any more.
It looks like Fiamzu might be trying to rotate down. No, he's going to decide against it.
Right, and many gang attempts that we actually are now seeing from both of the junglers. However, Prompo has been more successful in doing them. You know, we talked about how Redhead is the new jungler for Oldboys. I mean, now it's his third match, so not that new, but he was the person to breathe life into them, and so far he hasn't been able to do so this game.
We might be seeing a little skirmish around the Drake pit. The first Drake is not an ocean, it's a mountain Drake. Also, just to look at the items in the bot lane, Ezreal has got that tier, but Caitlyn has a BF sword, so that's going to be a lot of damage coming from Supreme.
Definitely will be. You will have to find a way to somehow deal with it, as the dragon does seem to be the priority in terms of vision control, as Chimaera, they're just moving in and placing some nice vision.
And again, in this mid lane, I feel that this is the one that could really pop off between Fiamzu and Hivian. And currently Hivian just freezing the lane, doesn't want to push out at all, as Zac just nearby, so we could see maybe a possible elastic slingshot into that mid lane.
You could. Fiamzu has got the flash though, so burning that will be useful in terms of some future ganks. And we did talk a lot about that middle lane. So far, 10 minutes into the game, there hasn't really been a lot of focus around it.
And it's been a fairly slow game at the minute, and I just want to talk about late game and all of this. And I feel that the late game is slightly over the side of Oldboys just because of the Yasuo and Caitlyn. Sure, Ezreal is strongish late, but I feel that Kate is stronger. Reteb, Sativa and Prompo, both the Zac and Sejuani are fairly strong late. So I do feel it is going to come down to Fiamzu and Caitlyn in that late game.
Prompo is sitting in that top lane. Yorikmori will be sitting towards his half, which means that no gang will find its success. And as we are slowly moving towards that mid game ever so slightly, there still hasn't been a hell of a lot more action, as I'm saying that in the bot lane there is some trading. My life will eat some damage, Godcry will also take some damage, but no kills ultimately will go through. And
the bot lane just playing so safe. Madlife trying to be as aggressive as he can, trying to get those flays and those engages, but Ezreal is just able to arcane shift, and then Braum just used to stand behind me to get out of lane. As now we might be seeing Madlife getting caught out.
Madlife definitely in a bad position. He does flash over the wall. A good flash to get away to safety, but it is a summoner burned by Chimaera.
Yeah, and Kay says that going for the arcane shift over the wall, and then Madlife say, okay, I'll flash over then.
Oh, however, look at the jungle. Prompo does get stunned up with the permafrost. There connects the glacial prison. Fiamzu will be looking for the kill as Prompo pops down back into the cell division. Another teleport is channeled. Nizik this time has got a slicing maelstrom, so Oldboys need to be very careful. He's been flashing over the wall. Slicing maelstrom is used already. Prompo comes flying in. Hivian looking for that pylon star. A nice knockup from Fiamzu, tries to get away. He's dropping low, 300 HP. Yorikmori is still trying to do can I say shut down, found by Hivian. Yorikmori gets one back. Hivian and Isaac are both on flash forward. There is the shovel strike from Yorikmori. Hivian goes golden. He might just survive. Isaac is only killing spree as Hivian gets out in the end, and a 3-for-1 fight in favor of Chimaera.
And Hivian flashing right at the end just to make sure no damage could come through from the Maiden. I feel that was slightly misplayed from Nizik though. He could have ulted a little bit later. He ulted almost as soon as he TP'd in, which I feel was a slight mistake from his part.
It was not great by any means, and right now Chimaera, they find themselves with 1,000 gold lead. However, if you look at the items, it is not all over for the side of Oldboys, because they've got the first items on both Fiamzu and Supreme.
And I feel that that fight was really important for Chimaera, because now you've got your Kennen 3-0, your Zoe's 2-0, this is a lot of damage coming through from your Pochamps as we see a fight in the bot lane.
The SNS does not connect onto Cages, that he has to burn the flash. There is the ace in the hole, Ignite is still ticking through, but it does not add up to enough to secure the kill, and Cages in the end gets out alive. As Hivian gets jumped on by Fiamzu, he's looking for the knockup, connects with the last breath. Red Up is over the wall, does he go for the Paraforce? Shut down is found by Fiamzu.
And Zoe does have that Seeker's Arm Guard available, so will be building into her Zhonya's as soon as she can. She has already burnt that stopwatch, which is why she wasn't able to go golden when the tornado hit.
And the dragon is started. Oldboys, they will be looking for that Mountain Drake. Fiamzu is just pushing in platings, and this game is so back and forth. The teams, they are just answering to each other, and at 13 minutes there is no significant lead. As Promo might just get caught out. My life does take the hook forward. Godfrey is sitting on that front line very confidently. Supreme chunked quite a bit. That is a Glacial Prison connecting to Ezreal. However, he's out of range of anyone, and no kills will go through by the end. But in the meantime, Fiamzu takes the first tower in the middle lane.
Yeah, and first turret going over. They've got the Mountain Drake as well, and I feel that Oldboys have started to turn this really nicely.
And 40 minutes in, Oldboys are actually the ones with the lead. However, Nizik, he has got that Proto Belt, and once we hit those team fights, you do have to watch out for the cannon, because he will just delete people in your backline.
Maiden has been summoned in the top lane, and we're going to see a bit of a skirmish.
Yeah, the slicing Maelstrom is coming through onto Yorick Mori. Nizik having a lot of movement speed to work with, and he will get out. And, well, I think now I see why the Aftershock has been picked.
Yeah, get some CC, bit of bonus armor and MR and all of that, as Mori will be trying to get the damage on it in those fights. And also, if you've got a Kennen, and your Kennen wants to be frontlining, get off that slicing Maelstrom. If he doesn't have the Zhonya's available, it just gives him that extra bit of sustain.
Yorick Mori, though, he is slowly getting to that point where his split push will become very annoying to deal with. He might actually take that tower top lane, and Oldboys, they are also looking for the bot lane. Their macro play is actually pretty good in this game.
And you've got 4 members bot, plus a Yorick top, and Yorick probably has so much split push potential.
Death Sentence connects onto Godfrey. He does get flayed back. A lot of damage coming through. Supreme finishes off the kill.
And the wind wall from Fiamzu to stop the Braum ultimate was really good there.
It allowed Oldboys to just continue this fight. They keep putting down the pressure as Hivian keeps poking with those Pylon Stars. You know, Chimaera might not be ahead, but you cannot discount that poke, as in the end Oldboys are able to secure that tower and put themselves nearly 3,000 gold ahead.
And currently you now see Chimaera starting on Rift Herald. However, I feel that Oldboys have wisened up to this and they will be rotating over.
Red Up Setiva is in that bot side of the top side river, if you know what I mean. He will just show his face and the Herald will have to be interrupted. Oldboys, they are using their pressure really wisely, and their items do complement that. You have got the Triforce now, also completed onto Yorick Mori.
Yeah, and you've got the Static Shivers come through for the Yasuo. He's got the BF, so that will be building into an IE. Kaelin already with the IE, while Ezreal only has the Manumane at the minute.
He will be stacking that up as soon as he can. He actually gets it now. Chimaera, they are still starting that Rift Herald, but always they are still in the vicinity. Elastic Station will be charged up, does not manage to find the interruption, and Propo brings back Yorick Mori, and my life gets deleted instantly. Red Up actually has to flash out. He's already very low on that Sejuani, and Godfrey will be the one to secure the kill in the end. Chimaera get 2 kills for themselves.
And they will turn this into a Rift Herald, and expect that Rift Herald to be dropped almost instantly, either in that top lane or the bot lane. Top lane makes more sense because it would counter the Yorick Mori split push potential on the Yorick.
He is very scary in that side lane at this point. There needs to be something done to counter him, and that Herald will be a great tool that Chimaera can use. And at this point, let's actually take a look at who we are looking at to carry the game. For Chimaera, I feel like Prompo and Nizik, their team fighting contributions will be key for them to win the game.
I do think this is going to come down entirely onto how well Nizik can play. I feel like with Zach's are always the same. I don't want to take anything away from the skill of Zach players, but it's always the same. You jump in, you ult out, you get your warmogs off, and then you jump straight back in. Also, if you're going to die, someone just TPs onto one of your passives. So it's all fine. But I feel that Nizik will require a lot more skill to be able to play this accurately.
And then, however, we cannot forget about Oldboys as well. They are still in the lead, and they have got that split push threat, and Fiamzu now completed the second item on Yasuo, the big power spike, that once you hit it, you are starting to become the unstoppable side lane pusher.
Yeah, and Yorick is in the top lane. No one's there to answer him just yet. The Demolish will proc, and I feel that's going to be a turret going before Kennen gets there, and yes, the turret has fallen.
Oldboys, they get the objective top lane. Now they are rotating into the dragon. I am honestly so impressed with their rotations around the map this game, because even though Red might not have found those huge leads, as a team they are still outmaneuvering Chimaera at every step.
And this is the beautiful thing about a Yorick, because you can just leave him in a side lane and he will just do so much. You have to answer him. Also, I believe Yorick got changed slightly, which means that the Maiden can stay in a side lane while Yorick joins the team. So you have a split pushing potential even though you're fighting as a 5-man in any particular lane.
And that is a insanely strong tool. However, the Baron is spawning in a couple of seconds. And if this game has shown us anything, it's just that no matter what kind of game state you're in, you cannot quite count out any of these teams, because they have got the tools to come back. So what do Chimaera do to get themselves back into this game?
Oh, the unfortunate thing for Chimaera, as they do use a Rift Herald, is I think that they're already getting back into this game really well, as the ultimate.
Oh my goodness! KZZ just assassinates Supreme, and now Propo jumping under that turret. Nizik is there for some follow-up damage. There is the Glacial Prison connecting, as well as the death sentence. But Chimaera, they find the pick. They are looking for the second tower, and I have to agree, they are looking to get back into this game.
But look at Yorick Mori in the bot lane. He's actually going to pick up the inhibitor turret. Kennen is on his way. Will he be able to stop him taking that turret though?
I think the answer should be yes, although that wave is actually pretty big. Yorick Mori might have just done in the tower, 130 HP, and it will not drop any lower. Now he has to get out of there as soon as possible. We'll have to see if he can channel the recall. Godfrey now walks towards that brush, will spot him, and Yorick Mori might just find himself in a lot of trouble, as actually the rest of Chimaera decide to drop the chase.
And Oldboys are starting Baron. I don't think Chimaera are aware of this, and the two Mountain Drakes is going to help them absolutely burn through the Baron.
The Baron just disappeared from the map in no time at all. However, Madlife and Fiamzu might just have to burn their summoners. Fiamzu flashes out. Madlife does not have that luxury. He will be the sacrificial thresh. A good Baron call from Oldboys. I didn't see them doing it. They get the Baron though, and they are ahead in this game once again.
And it was something I wanted to mention before, and the two Mountain Drakes means that they will burn through any objective. But now, think about how disgusting this is. You have a Yorick. Yorick is 1 and 2. Okay, not the strongest Yorick ever, but he's got Baron buff, 2 Mountain Drakes, and he's Yorick. He's going to do so much damage to every turret in a side lane.
Supreme though, he is getting jumped on by Godfrey. That is actually the Glacial Fissure coming through. The Ignite is dropped down as well. Concussive blows are not able to stack up quite yet, but that is a flash down from the AD carry of Oldboys.
As Zach going to try to engage. Also, I just want to mention, when Supreme died in that team fight earlier on in the game, like 2 minutes ago, it was because of the Zoe poke. The Zoe poke itself took Supreme to below half HP, and that's what allowed KZZ to pick up the kill. But look at Mori now in the bot lane.
Mori is putting down the pressure constantly. He will be able to easily get that turret. Nizik doing whatever he can as the 4-man stack of Oldboys. They are looking for a top lane fight. The hook connects onto Provo. He's looking for that last extension into the back lane. That's connecting the stretching strikes onto both Supreme and Fiamzu. Fiamzu goes through that double last minute onto the carries of Chimaera. However, Kaki do the work. He gets taken down by KZ in the end. Very low health bars for Chimaera. One life takes down Godfrey. Heavian looking still to dish out the damage. KZ on the side lane doing a lot of things. However, the hook connects, and that is a truly a death sentence. A double kill from Madlife. and KZZ cleans up Heavian. It's a slaughterhouse in the top lane as 4 members of Chimaera will fall.
And Oldboys, Mad Life with that death sentence at the end can completely change it. But look at Mori. Even if they had lost the fight, it wouldn't have mattered because they were stopping the backs, and Mori has been destroying Nizik in the bot lane. Nizik just can't do anything against his split push power.
That split push is too insane to deal with. Always they are. Can Nizik actually stop the game? He doesn't have the slicing Melishon. He's jumping in onto Supreme. He will get a shot down, but the Nexus is exposed. There isn't enough time, or is there? KZ is responding. The Nexus is dropping very low, but the game will be finished. That's Always take the game 1 over Chimaera.
And that game is a beautiful example of what you want to do as a Yorick in any game of League of Legends.
Just beautiful, beautiful game from Oldboys, and I think that answers the major question we had coming into this game. Can Oldboys replicate their success against Virgo versus other teams? Yes, they just did it against Chimaera. And what do Chimaera do to come back into the series?
For Chimaera, I feel like the Kennen didn't work as well as we had hoped. The Rek'Sai was banned out and the Zac was picked up, which I feel was alright, but if they're going to go for that poke potential, I feel like the Karthus would have worked slightly better. They never got to a stage where they were all able to group up and poke out Oldboys. I feel that if it was any other top laner apart from Yorick, they probably would have won that. So ban Yorick next game, please.
Alright, well, on that note, we will go into the short break and join us after that for the game 2 to see if Oldboys will complete another 2-0 or if Chimaera will give us a game 3. We'll be right back.
Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. As I dive in, blood stains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to give you hope. As we fall, I can't hold on much longer. Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time, so prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Rise. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the summit. Visions brave, the one falls, steadily the end. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. They will remember you. It is you fight among the dead, beneath the dirt. Or do you know yet? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, do you know if we don't die? Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Pick up your weapon and face it. Rise. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. You can chase it. Rise, rise. Tonight I'm coming out the shadows. Long time coming, gonna get what's mine. I'm here standing at the doorway, staring down my glory. It's my time. 'Cause I'm a light in the darkness.
Welcome back everyone to we are just a few minutes away from getting into the game 2 after Oldboys. They managed to take the better of Chimaera in game 1, and well, I am looking forward to what they can do coming into the game 2.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. I feel like I'm really excited for the pick of Bad Face because I feel like Chimaera went with the right idea of respecting the Rek'Sai, but I feel like they completely forgot about Yorick, and Oldboys punished them for that. They showed how to play an absolutely inch-perfect Yorick, and that is what fundamentally won them game 1.
And well, I don't think a Yorick ban will not surprise us at all from Chimaera. Is there anything else that you think we are likely to see being removed? Chimaera just saying, alright, we don't want to see it, or conversely, Oldboys being like, you know what, this pick actually really annoyed us more than it should have, so we're gonna remove it as well.
I feel like in the bot lane, Chimaera went for the safe Ezreal Braum, but they still gave away a couple of kills early. We may see the Caitlyn or Thresh being banned. However, I think it's more likely that they'll just try to take a slightly different lane. They went for a poke comp in game 1, and while it was close to working out, either they'll go for the same thing and ban out the Yorick, and possibly the Sejuani, as Yorick is actually the first ban for Chimaera.
Yeah, just taking it off of them, I don't think there are any doubts that this will happen, as Lucian is the first ban from Oldboys. It is actually the same as in the game 1. For reference, their second ban in game 1 was Vladimir. We'll see if they stick to that or ban something else.
I feel that Oldboys, as they look to ban the Lissandra, should respect the Kennen pick for Chimaera, because it was played really well, as Thresh has actually been banned.
It just has been taken away from Oldboys. My Life had a pretty good performance, not gonna lie. Oldboys also removing the the Lissandra and the Zac now. Prompo had a really great game. So many of the good engages, so taking it off makes very much a lot of sense, as Oldboys, well, you don't want to play against that.
Now, Yorick Mori is a good Kennen player. We've seen him play the Kennen and it worked really well. In game 1, Chimaera said, right, well, we don't want you to take Kennen, but we don't want to waste a ban on it. So we'll pick Kennen ourselves. So if Chimaera don't respect that Kennen pick, we could see again another Kennen top lane as Urgot is banned out.
Yeah, Urgot is taken off. Now, Oldboys, they left the Zac open. I am wondering if they will decide to go for it. However, Vladimir was also open, and this champion, well, it can wreak a lot of havoc in the backline if you get the opportunity to.
Yeah, I completely missed that they switched the ban from the Zac to the Kennen. So now you've got Zac open, but most importantly, Rek'Sai is open for Oldboy. Expect that to be probably their third pick, because otherwise Chimaera will ban it out in the second ban phase.
Sivir, however, is picked for KZZ, more of that late game sort of AD carry scaling. Last time he was playing the Ezreal, which it does well in the later stages of the game. However, it's not a hyper carry, and now with that Sivir Chimaera, they have got the late game foundations. Do they just decide to go for it and commit into a late game identity, or will they also draft themselves some of the early game aggression?
But I feel like Chimaera have gone for the same strategy as last time, where they're going to take a super safe bot lane with the Sivir, and now the Alistar's been locked in as well, so a really safe bot lane from Chimaera. Hopefully though, this time they won't give away any early kills, as Oldboys will be looking to make their picks, and I reckon it's going to be the Rek'Sai.
It could be, it is open. It would make a lot of sense for Retep to just fall back onto his champion, which he made a very good impression on. However, Braum is going to be the pick of choice. Oldboys deciding to take their support, not letting it slide through to the second phase where it could be banned out. And well, it is a strong champion. You can block a lot of damage from the Sivir, so Oldboys will fall back onto that.
Sivir, sorry, not Sivir, Caitlyn is still open as well, so we could see that, but also Xayah. I haven't seen a Xayah in a while, as Rek'Sai will be locked in, of course.
Yeah, and Retep, I'm just looking forward. Hopefully he can have some more impact than last game on the Sejuani. He didn't end up doing a whole lot. He did help with setting up some of the kills, but now that he has got that carry potential, I hope he can actually make use of it.
Yeah, and Chimaera will be making their final pick. It might be, for some reason I feel that they might just be going for their mid lane pick. We saw the Yasuo Zoe last time, as the Sejuani will actually be locked in.
Getting that jungler makes a lot of sense. It is a pretty safe jungler that can make the ganks and can also counter gang a Sejuani. So that will be what Prompo falls back on.
Right, so we're entering the second stages of bans, and I feel like the Zoe for Chimaera was actually decent, as Jinx will be banned out, so Chimaera don't want to be playing against a Jinx Braum lane, as actually it's changed over to Ezreal.
It did, and trying to restrain those AD carry champions is a good call. They have got already the Sivir, just taking off something like the Ezreal just takes away some of this safety, as Zilean is the ban from Oldboys.
Yeah, and Zilean was banned in game 1. So I guess that's just for Hywien, because he does play a decent Zilean, as Tristan is also banned, so banning out the hyper carry potential for Oldboys.
but there are still many picks available for that ADC. I feel like what Chimaera really wanted to do is take away the ADCs with the quote-unquote easy escape. Both the Rocket Jump and Arcane Shift are really good abilities. Getting rid of them makes sure that you can set around that bot lane, and honestly with an Alistar and Sejuani, I would not be surprised if Chimaera wanna pay some more attention towards that lane.
As Jace is going to be the final banned from Oldboys, and now Chimaera will, as they are on the red side, get the first pick of the second phase.
Yeah, what do they decide to pick? They still need to get both of their solo laners. They might just go for the top laner. They could just steal away the Yorick, or actually they can blind pick themselves the Orianna.
No.
So Chimaera already going for the team fighting composition.
I just want to highlight though, Aatrox is available, so we may see that being the final lock for Chimaera. But Oldboys now, they have their ADC still open, as we will be seeing a Zoe coming in.
Once again, this time actually on Oldboys, and Hivian did make pretty decent use of it in the early game, and Fiamzu was the person to actually outfarm his counterpart. I am really looking forward to Kalista for Supreme.
That is a really interesting pick, and I'm sure everyone in the chat is actually going to be getting quite excited by that. But Kalista Braum, if you're a good Kalista, and Braum can get off the CC, you can get off so much damage. It is actually disgusting, as Chimaera will be looking to make their final pick in that top lane, and I do reckon we may be seeing an Aatrox there.
Actually, Oldboys might be just going for a Shen top lane, I realized with the Zoe pick. Vladimir. Shen top lane though. For Chimaera, they are definitely trying to play around the hyper carry potential of Sivir with all of the protection and the CC that they have.
And we can see a really nice combo, and it's what they call the old school league combo. It's where you've got something like an Orianna, something that can engage really easily, like an Alistar. So you can protect the Alistar with your ball and then use your ultimate on the Alistar. Also, Alistar's so tanky, but if Shen ults on top of that, it's gonna have so much protection diving in. Also, there's so much peel for the Sivir. You've got the Orianna shield, the Orianna W that gives the movement speed, Sejuani's around, Alistar can disengage, and you've got a Shen that can ult on top of that. So we are seeing a complete protect the carry from Chimaera.
We are on the other side. Oldboys, they have got the tools to try and dismantle that composition. You've got the Vladimir that wants to dive the backline, Rek'Sai, the jungler that Red has shown to be an early carry on. Kalista, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, she is also a stronger early game AD carry than a Sivir in a lane, so Oldboys, they can try to fight this Chimaera, especially in the early stages of the game.
To be honest, I think that most champions are stronger than Sivir in the early game. Maybe the exception being something like an Ezreal. However, watch the bot lane. That's what I'll say. Watch the bot lane, because we will be seeing Rek'Sai, we will be seeing Retep Sativa focusing that bot lane. Chimaera are playing protect the carry. If you get rid of the carry, you're protecting nothing. So that's going to be the Oldboy strategy. They're going to be focusing their resources. That's going to be the Rek'Sai and the Zoe to try and rotate to the bot lane to pick up a kill onto that Sivir.
It will be big if they can get those kills, because shutting down those power spikes is absolutely crucial. And if we think about where both of these teams are sitting, they are both fighting really for the playoffs. They aren't sitting on a lot of points. This match is actually moved from far back, so both of these teams still have, I believe, 3 games yet to be played. But they are sitting both on 3 points. You really want to get them if you want to make it to playoffs. And if Oldboys can close this out here and now, then they are actually maybe going for that comeback, because they haven't won a game for so long, and now they are on the verge of sitting on 6 points.
With so many losses in a row, and then all of a sudden that game against Lyra after Sativa joined the roster. Virgo after Sativa joined the roster. This would be a fantastic comeback story, and I feel that they have a really good lineup to do this. They've gone with Zoe, who I feel is a nice, safe pick. Sure, there's an Orianna, but Zoe can out-poke her. Both of them have decent poke potential, so I do feel that it will be a skill matchup in that mid lane. But watch out for Retep Sativa and watch out for that bot lane, because even if you have Sativa or Fiamzu coming into that bot lane, if Nizik is 6, he'll be instantly in that team fight.
The map pressure is also big, so there is a recurring theme, and for a good reason, because Retep's Rek'Sai is the big champion that needs to do the work. If it doesn't, then Oldboys, well, their late game chances, let's say they aren't looking that great. We already highlighted the sheer amount of PL that Sivir will receive, and therefore, I mean, I am just looking at Retep and maybe some individual laners to step up, get some kills, get early advantages, because that is what Oldboys need. Without it, they will find it insanely difficult to win this game.
And the Sivir has, of course, her own peel with the spell shield, but also I'm going to go back to this rotation from the mid laners, because Orianna can move quicker than Fiamzu, just because of the W giving her that little bit of extra movement speed. I'm also going to take a quick look as we're entering the final stages of the lock-in on the client, just so that we can take a look at what items everyone, not items, summoner spells. And Hirian is going for that cleanse, which makes sense against Sleepy Trouble Bubble. This means that Fiamzu can go for that ignite just to get the extra damage, but everything else apart from that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, making sure that you have got that protection is helpful, because you are less likely to just get dove and killed. And you know, I think this will be very much the over-recurring theme, and I will sound like a broken record by the time we go into the game, but Chimaera, they just need to try and cut the losses they didn't get yet. What that basically means is don't fall behind. Whatever you do, give up CS, give up a tower if necessary. Do not die. Let KZZ get 2 items, he will carry the game for you.
Also, I just want to mention that I have mentioned that you might see Retep Sativa in that bot lane. However, for Chimaera, and again, I'm going to mention this again, Chimaera are playing Protect the Carry. They need to get that carry ahead. So expect to see Prompo in that bot lane. Sure, Supreme has a fair bit of movement speed, but the Kalista Braum is susceptible to ganks. Now, while KZZ may get ahead, if Retep Sativa and Fiamzu decide, okay, we'll rotate top. If they get Vladimir ahead, a fed Vladimir is more disgusting than a fed Sivir, as I'm sure many people are aware of. So watch out for this essentially counter jungling and Retep Sativa focusing all of his energy in the top lane.
Right, you know, I talked a lot about KZ carrying the game, but what you mentioned is true as well. If Yorick Mori is the one to get the items, he can just as well carry an entire team fight. So always they have got the late game tools. It's not like once they go late game, it's over. It just will be hard. You've got 3 frontliners, a lot of shields, and a hyper carry, as well as an AoE teamfight CC tool in the form of that shockwave, as well as you can throw in just a lot. I don't think I really need to list all of them. So I'm glad you mentioned Yorick Mori last game. He was ahead on a Yorick. We'll have to see if he can really do the same on a Vladimir, and if he can, then that is one hell of a strong win condition for Oldboys to play around.
Yeah, and that's why I'm starting to feel like this Shen pick has been decent, just because Shen is such a safe pick. But that being said, maybe if Nizik had taken something more aggressive, maybe like an Aatrox, or even a safe pick like a Sion, I feel that would have worked as well. But that being said, Shen's better for this entire protect the carry composition. So this entire game is going to focus around, for Chimaera, can they get KZZ ahead? And for Oldboys, it's either can they stop KZZ getting ahead? Because if they stop KZZ getting ahead, they pretty much win. And if they can get Yorick Mori ahead, they win. So they've got at least 2 win conditions in their favor.
Definitely, and as we are slowly approaching the game, we should be getting in about a minute. Let us know in the chat if you think that Oldboys will take their second 2-0 of this Wintersplit, or whether Chimaera takes us to a game 3. We'll take a look at it, and you know, well, 51% of statistics are made up on the spot apparently, so we're gonna definitely tell you some nice professional stats on what were your votes. Last game it was 0-0, I didn't see anyone, so come on guys, we can beat it.
So, did you just say 51% of stats are made up on the spot?
Yes.
Really?
Think about what I just said and the deeper
Oh god,
implications.
yes, I just realised. Oh my god, I'm out. I'm gonna yeah, drown myself. Right. Oh, I'm not sure if you've seen How I Met Your Mother, but I think he uses the same thing where he always says 83%. Something like that. So.
Well, I mean, it wasn't an original joke that I came up with. I rarely actually come up with original jokes. But coming back to the ground, we are getting into that game and we're going to a pause. That is anticlimactic.
And I think it's Mad Life who's got some problems connecting. At least that's what I can understand from the Danish chat, anyway.
Yeah, it's a hard language. Sorry, guys, we actually don't speak it. But yeah, we shall be getting back pretty shortly. And do you think we will be seeing some level 1 strategies? Last game we didn't see any. This game, I think it seems even less likely. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any cheeses. It's all going to be fairly straightforward. I'm quite excited because I think this is my first game watching Sativa play Rek'Sai, so I'm interested just to see how clean it actually is.
Well, last time it was very clean. We're going to see if it is as clean right now. As actually there are some red pings from Chimaera coming through. And, well, Sejuani, you can technically invade, so we're going to have to see if Supreme overstays. But actually, it seems like it dissolves into a standard cover.
Mad Life getting to his tri-bush a little bit late. That's because he did have that connection issues that he was mentioning. But yeah, we will have to really watch out for this bot lane because decent Callistas can find so much damage in places that you wouldn't expect them to, and Supreme could just get so far ahead so quickly. So I feel like the bot lane could be really, really volatile.
Yeah, there is a lot of potential, I do have to say. Kalista, a strong level 1 AD carry, as well as some nice laning phase. And Godfrey on an Alistar also does a lot. As we get Cowbell. Let's go, Godfrey. You are officially the friend of the people and the state. We will not hunt you down.
Also, Vladimir has gone for that Doran Shield. Now, Doran Shield is fairly usual for Vlad, but a Doran's Ring is also possible. Also, watch out for him possibly going for, oh, what is it called? The thing that goes, Dark Seal, there you go. So he may go for a Dark Seal after his first back.
Both of the junglers, once again, they are starting on that red buff. We will see which lane they decide to prioritize, as Retep Sativa is making his way into topside and Prompo is also staying up in the top lane. So we could be seeing both of the junglers trying to influence that lane early on.
Retep Sativa will be going straight away for that Scuttle Crab in the top lane. I'm fairly surprised that Prompo didn't start bot lane just so that he could instantly go for the Scuttle Crab, again, going around this protective composition that they have elected for.
However, it does look like actually KZZ and Godfrey get the early push in, so even though we keep talking about that late game, they do have some of that early game push power, which could translate into more if Supreme and Mad Life are not careful enough.
Yeah, but again, don't underestimate the fact that they just might be trying to freeze this out, forcing KZZ just to push forward so that Sativa can get a nice juicy gank off.
Definitely a possibility. And actually, just taking a quick look at the jungle clear, Sativa was the person to get the topside Scuttle Crab, and he's now going towards that bot lane. If he can get both or get a nice trade onto Prompo, then that is one hell of a way to get yourself ahead as a Rek'Sai.
Sativa does have the blue buff, and we're going to see a skirmish now.
He might just get collapsed upon. There is this stun with the permafrost over the wall. Sativa has to burn his flash. Good collapse from Chimaera.
Yeah, and the Chimaera bot lane had pushed up, which meant that they had the rotation priority to that river.
Now Supreme jumping forward. That is the headbutt pulverized onto my life. He's already on half HP. He will get stunned up. The ignite is falling down. He has to be very careful about how he steps. Supreme in the meantime just trying to dish out the damage. And KZZ picks up the first blood. Supreme looking for a trade back. That is the stun. Can he pull out the rend? The hero comes through and Godfly gets the stun. A double kill for KZZ.
And this is exactly what you want for Chimaera. Your first blood going over onto KZZ and the second kill as well. This is exactly what Chimaera wanted to happen in this early stage of the game.
2 kills going onto the Sivir, the big carry that we've been hyping up for the 7 minutes before the game, as Yorick Mori takes a bit of a bad trade in the top lane. Will use the Sanguine Pool to get away to safety in the end, but Chimaera, they are having a good start in this game too.
Yeah. And again, watch out for Retrospectiva. He hasn't really come online yet. Sorry, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure when a Rek'Sai really comes alive, but when it does, I'm sure we will not.
Oh, nice! Taunt flash onto Yorick Mori, forces the flash away, and he will get this solo kill up in the top lane.
That was a really nice play there. Yorick Mori hadn't actually backed, so trying to stay way too aggressive, and Nizik punishes him really nicely. And again, Chimaera are doing so well. Now Shen's got a kill. When he TPs into the bot lane on top of KZZ, that could actually be really strong.
It could, and Nizik is level 5. He is slowly inching towards that level 6. He should be there in about a minute. Once you have that stun united, you can make these plays. And if Hivian and Prompo decide to roam down, then that is a very reliable way to get KZZ ahead of Supreme, as Hivian takes a Palo Star to his face.
Just to clarify, in that bot lane, what we're going to be watching out for is as soon as Shen hits 6, Godfjaj fully engaging regardless of whether it's turret or not, and Shen will ult on top of him instantly. So watch out for that in about 2 minutes.
However, once the game kind of stalls down into a bit of a lull without any kills going through for the last minute, we can take a look at the CS, and Yorick Mori is once again having a very good CS differential up in the top lane.
Yeah, and that nullifies the kill that Shen got. If you look at items now, you've got boots and an amplifying tone on Mori, while Shen only has the Merc Treads. But Merc Treads, that being said, is a decent item when you're playing against a Vladimir, and the fact that there is also a Zoe with a lot of poke.
Gold-wise it's even, however Yorick Mori has unspent gold. That is where the discrepancy is coming through. However, I really want to see Oldboys answer that Sivir one way or another. Either snowball Yorick Mori, something that we said, or focus around that bot side, because if you do not stop KZZ, then he will win the game for Chimaera.
And look at the items in the bot lane. KZZ on the Sivir has already got a BF sword, while Supreme has only been able to get 2 daggers. That is just adding insult to injury. And they're going to have to play so passively now in the bot lane, and you can see it already. You can see Chimaera freezing that lane and denying Supreme the CS.
Yeah, Supreme already falling behind. We talked about how the bot lane for Oldboys has been the more consistent one. This does not look like one of these games. However, it's only minute 7. They still have got time to work around, as the dragon is actually started by Retrospectiva.
And it is an Ocean Drake, which will help Fiamzu being able to rotate, and Retrospectiva with his movement around jungle to try to answer the Sivir in the bot lane.
Yorick Mori might just get collapsed upon the top side. There's the Permafrost and the Taunt coming through as well. Can Yorick Mori actually escape? Nizik taking a lot of damage, but Prompo will be the one with the kill. Both of them get out alive. It will be traded for the Ocean Drake.
And a good kill there from Chimaera. Now, Nizik does have the Stand United available, so that could come through at any time in the bot lane, but he's probably going to push this wave out first.
Goldfly flash pulverized. Can he get the headbutt back? Supreme running very low. My life trying to help his AD carry without Unbreakable, but KZ still able to secure the killing spree, and he will get out. They are still looking for Mad Life, but they will not decide to go forward with that dive. That is the 3rd kill for KZZ.
And again, they're playing this really well, Chimaera are. Now, Mad Life is staying. This is really dangerous because Nizik has TP and the ultimate available. So just, I'm going to constantly say this, but always watch out for this Shen cross-map play.
It is very dangerous. Right up, Sativa is looking for a gank bot lane. KZZ is currently out of mana. However, Godcry and the Sivir will just back out under their own side of the bot lane. And 8 minutes in, Chimaera, they are the ones sitting with the lead right now.
No, as Fiamzu will get off the Sleepy Trouble Bubble in the mid lane.
Heaven does have to cleanse it away. Oh, the shockwave does not connect. The bonus movement speed that Fiamzu got from the heal will allow him to just get out. As Yorick, Mori and Isaac, they are trading up in the top lane as well. There is some trading across the map, and Oldboys, they are trying to do something to just get back in, and they have those CS advantages, but I want to see Reddit come into a lane and actually get a kill.
And Yorick Mori has that electrocute, which just gives him that little bit of extra damage on the Shen, even if Shen does get his full combo off. As we're going to see Chimaera, are they going to go for a little play in that Raptor pit?
They could be looking for Fiamzu once he goes back into the middle lane. However, he does have all of those playdicks. He also has the flash, so unless they catch him by surprise, it will be hard to pull off. As now Prompo is roaming towards that bot lane, they could be looking for a potential dive there.
And with this minion wave that's about to get pushed in, if Nizik can ult in as well, we're going to see 4 people bot, but Prompo has now left the bot lane.
Yes, he did. KZZ still getting to shove in that wave. He has the pickaxe and the BF sword on top of Berserker Greaves. This Sivir has a lot of items, much more than you would normally see. And the time, well, I'm not gonna say Oldboys are really on a timer, but you need to do something. I will keep saying that until Oldboys make a really good play. Now they need to either shut down KZZ or do something elsewhere.
Oh, Sativa is here in the bot lane. He does have the ultimate available.
My life is looking for the Glacial Fissure. It will be spell shielded. However, they are turning onto Godcry. Ignite is taking down a good knockout from the Fate's Call. However, they head back into the tower. My life taking a lot of damage. KZ looking for a potential kill. Supremo will find the stun with the concussive blows. Does he have the damage with the Rend? KZ is dropping slightly low. However, Oldboys, they try to go for a gank. Their efforts, though, are futile as they do not get any kills.
Yeah, it didn't pull the Rend in the end, but now look top lane.
Yorick Mori taking a lot of damage from Nizik will just dash out of there, get out with that Sanguine Pool, heal back up, so not too much going on. In the end, Nizik actually building quite a lot of magic resist.
Yeah, and it's not surprising considering this matchup.
Another trade in, that is the Hemoplague pop down. Yorick Mori takes a lot of healing. Nizik dropping low, the transfusion comes out. Both of the top laners are very low, and Yorick Mori gets the kill.
And that's really good for Mori because he's got a return kill now, so he's got respectable KDA and has 40 CS more than Nizik.
It will be helpful once he gets more of those items. And Yorick Mori actually is the person that once again looks to be the carry as another engagement coming through in that bot lane. Godfrey has got no flash, he just gets stunned up, will get taken down as Supreme gets the kill. Look at the mid lane though, Fiamzu is low, he lands a Sleepy Trouble blow to Promo who has to flash away. He then looking to zone him out with that ball, will be successful in doing so. Both mid lane and the jungler for Chimaera are low, and Fiamzu doesn't fall down, and finally Oldboys, they are doing something to answer this pressure.
Yeah. Unfortunately though, that kill came onto Godfrey, not onto KZZ, so the Protect the carry is still working. They have given away 2 kills, but it's not the end of the world yet.
It definitely isn't. And I'm just gonna take a look at the gold. Yorick Mori is currently sitting on
look
2000.
bot lane, look bot lane.
Yeah, I am looking at the bot lane. KZ is dropping very low. However, Supreme taking too many turret shots. KZ looking for a double, and he rolls to right thanks to that stun United. Nice coming through, and the dive completely backfires from Oldboys.
And Supreme, what are you doing taking so many turret shots? That made no sense at all. You need Mad Life to be the one. And right now, Oldboys are trying too hard to kill the carry. And the Protect the carry seems to be beating Kill the carry at the minute. And KZZ doing exactly what he needs to. 501, 800 gold. He will be backing, picking up an Infinity Aid and maybe even a Zeal.
That will be a lot of gold. They could be looking for yet another plating. The tower on the bot lane sits on only one. The Cloud Drake is the target, as Prompo should be able to secure that, and that dive just makes the whole game so much more difficult. Random Sativa looking for a potential steal. He goes into the pit, will not be able to get a dragon, gets stunned up and taken down. That is very questionable dive, or steal attempt I should say, coming through, and will result in yet another kill, just feeding into this Chimaera composition.
And the kill, of course, went over to the Sivir. They waited a bit before killing the Rek'Sai just so that KZZ could get there and pick up his 6th kill. Now he's just back, and he has got the Infinity Edge, and he has bought a Zeal. Meanwhile, Supreme doesn't even have his first item yet. He only has the Cutlass.
And, you know, bringing it back to KZZ, this guy, he doesn't always carry the game, but when he does, he is doing it in such a dominant fashion. It's only 40 minutes. I'm not saying the game is over, but you have got the Infinity Zeal. However, I don't have time to talk, as Madlife will get pulled back in with the Fate's Call. Nice knockup coming through, and looks like actually the botting of Oldboys will be able to get out. But oh my god, KZZ, this man is so strong.
Yeah, and the Fate's Call were really good there from Supreme, just to let Madlife survive for a bit. But a really nice flash engage from Godfrey, as we might be seeing an engaged bot lane now.
Red Sativa is looking for something else. Yorick, Mori and Isaac are juking it out in the top lane. Once again, that CS differential is starting to hurt Isaac more and more, as the items are also coming through. You've got the Proto Belt for Yorick Mori, and he just will start getting stronger and stronger.
And Madlife did burn the flash in an attempt to get off the ultimate, the Glacial Fissure. However, we haven't seen Mori turn up bot lane. When he turns up bot lane, if he can get a nice TP flank in, he will blow up this Sivir.
He will, however, my question in return is, will KZZ and Godfrey in combination not blow him up? Because an Infinity Age at 15 minutes is a lot. It definitely is, and you have to be careful not to get CC chained down if you are Yorick Mori, as Isaac once again going in for the taunt, but not really getting a lot out of that trade.
Yeah, he could get blown up, but as long as he saves the pool of blood for the right moment, he won't. So it's all about timing it right. Just like the Sivir has to time right her spell shield so she doesn't get hit by the Glacial Fissure CC or the Concussive Blow CC.
Chimaera now will finally be able to pick up that first tower. In the bot lane, Fiamzu still looking for some more trades. Actually, the solo lanes for Oldboys have been doing relatively well, out farming their opponents, not really getting too many kills. But, you know, you cannot really take it away from them. My problem is, will it be enough to counteract what KZZ is currently making happen in the bot lane?
Right, Mori's just picked up a turret in that top lane, as Chimaera have decided to swap their bot laners into the top lane. But look at Sivir's new item, picked up a Phantom Dancer. That's going to be really useful.
There is some trading in the river. Prompo and Hivian will take quite a bit of damage. Yorick Mori now gets headbutted the back, and the Blast Cone is actually used by Godfrey. Yorick Mori has to burn his pool. He has to flash away. He's ignited down though. Can he get out? The answer is no, as Prompo gets it with his W, and that is a kill donated over to Chimaera, and it should start the Herald.
Really badly played from Mori there. He had the flash available, and he could have flashed over into the Baron Pit as soon as that blast cone got taken, but he tried to save it, and that's a mistake that you should never do, trying to hang on to a summoner spell in the hope that you won't get punished for it.
As the Herald is secured, I believe, by the side of Chimaera, and nice engage. So many knockouts coming through. Case that is taken on the backline. A Shockwave only landing on one person. Looking for the assassination. He gets headbutted away though. Hivian comes up, takes the kill, will get out in Chimaera. They get the Herald, they get the kill, and they lose nothing.
And Sativa tried to go through his little portal thing, but the headbutt pulverized, knocked him into a wall, which stopped him from being able to click through in time.
And now Herald sitting in Godfrey's inventory could be used to break open more of these towers. KZZ is sitting on a Phantom Dancer on top of everything for a while, and we saw Redep trying to go for the assassination. That Phantom Dancer makes it so hard for you to dive KZZ.
Also, can I just mention, this was really clever from the side of Chimaera to let Godfrey take the Rift Herald, because now they can use the Rift Cloud where the Sivir is, so Sivir can get even more gold.
Grompo is also sitting in that top lane, so he's trying to dish out whatever damage he can. He has got that Blade of the Void King, so he will do some work. However, it isn't enough to really secure the kill. Red also paying attention to that top side, and it seems that both of the teams really want to take control over that side of the map.
And I do, as Supreme almost get the pierce off, but good timing, let's say calculated from KZZ there.
Yeah, he gets out into the base, he doesn't lose anything at all. And right now, Oldboys, they will get this shove out in that top lane. It will allow them to just get some recalls, maybe push for that vision when they will feel more confident. And right now, it is Chimaera that are in control of this game. My question to you is, what do Oldboys need to do in order to come back?
First of all, they need to get this Drake, and Chimaera are setting up vision. Sativa is there, but the last time Sativa tried to contest, he ended up going in, he didn't get the smite steal off, and he died. So we are going to see all members of both teams converge to this Drake pit because they know how important it is. Sativa getting hit.
The TP Travel coming through. That is the hero play from Nordic Monarch. He's looking for that flank. Sativa jumps into the Drake pit. It will be secured by Supreme as the fight is breaking out. Godfight has to flash over the wall. This fight could go disastrous for Chimaera. Red Sativa looking for the kills in that backline onto Godfight and Propo. He then gets tagged by the Winters by the paddle start from Yamzu, not quite connecting onto the right targets. TP Travel Bubble does not find its mark either. And looks like all of the Chimaera members are alive for now. Red Sativa is forced back away by the damage that Chimaera additionally are. Propo dashing forward with that Arctic Assault, looking for the slow. There is the Unburrow, and Heavian gets the first kill of that extended fight. The Glacial Fissure comes out. Godfight looking for the knockouts. There is the Shockwave onto 2, and KZZ is gone like as Yorick Mori falls down. Shadow will found onto Propo in return though. 2-for-1 now in favor of Oldboys. Even is on a kill experience, the third kill. Piamza trying to run out if he can. I don't think he really can. He's on the wrong side of the map. Paddle Star does not connect to KZ. He has to flash out. The Ignite is down nicely, looking for that tone. Will be able to find in the end. The shutdown is going in favor of Niantic in a 4-for-1 fight in favor of Chimaera.
Beautifully played by Chimaera there to turn the fight around after they had lost the initial fight, and that's a good example of Oldboys getting way too aggressive initially. They won the initial fight, but they saw everyone on Chimaera was solo, but they underestimated the severe damage. Now, the big mistake they made in the initial fight, this is from Chimaera, is they saw the Vlad coming and they decided, right, we need to stop the Vlad. They tried to get the engage off, but then all Vlad did was he went into a Sanguine pool, and then Chimaera had lost all of their CC, which meant that Oldboys were able to win the fight. However, then in the second fight, they had the CC available and they were able to win. So that's why the first fight went one way and the second fight went the other way.
And now the Baron has grazed the Rift. Always they will be just trying to sweep out the wards. And as we are entering this Baron down stage of the game, I think it is important to take a look at the items. It is even across pretty much all lanes but the bot lane. KZZ has got 2.5 items compared to only 1.5 of Supreme, and that will be the big difference in the teamfight damage, as Engage could be coming through from Chimaera. Prompto looking for the damage. It looks like Malak, he will just run in, save his junglers, but is I mean save his top lane, but is it enough? Yorick Mori pops down into the Sanguine pool and he will be okay, but now that is the Baron call from the side of Chimaera.
And the Cloud Drake is so good for Chimaera that they're able to chase down Madlife really nicely. But Baron is open. I don't think they're going to go for it just yet. Watch out, this Vlad is not online yet. He needs to get his Rabadon's death cap for that to happen, and he hasn't been able to get a needlessly large rod just yet.
He has completed his second item, which means he does have some damage, but not quite enough. As you said, he needs more if he wants to be that huge threat in these fights. And Chimaera, in the end, they do not commit to the Baron because Retep was alive. Yamzu was still raining down with his bubbles and the paddle stars, which means that it is not the safest environment to try and commit into the Baron buff with, and as a result, Chimaera, they will just stall out the game slightly longer, but they're fine with it.
Yeah, and I was about to say, Chimaera right now, you need to just leave Shen in your bot lane. Oldboys are at Baron, but I don't think that they're actually going to start this. I don't think they have the tools to actually burn through this Baron quick enough. So just leave Shen in that bot lane. He's pushing the bot lane now, and if you leave Vlad, if you try to get Vlad to answer this, because you've got the Cloud Drake, you can chase down Oldboys, you can get a fight off, and Shen will just be able to use a Stand United to get off a really nice pick, and Vlad won't be able to get into that team fight in time.
KZZ is now engaged upon. He loses a lot of his HP, however, some skill shot not finding their marks from Oldboys is enough for KZ to escape as bot lane. The top laners are training. Hemoplex actually comes out from Yorick Mori. He could be looking for a kill here. He pops down into the Sanguine Pool, gets a nice chunk of healing, however, Nizik is definitely getting a good end of this trade, and an ultimate popped from Yorick Mori for no real gain.
Yeah. So again, he doesn't have that ultimate available, which is so useful in a team fight, especially if you're trying to shut down this 8-0 and 5 Sivir.
1,000 gold bounty, 3 items. Now the static shift is well. Compare that into Supremes 2, and KZ is just going to do wonders in these team fights. He has as well, on top of all the peel, got the Phantom Dancer, which means that any sort of backline assassination is very difficult, as Prompo and Fiamsu they're trading it, and Prompo gets the kill as Civian goes in for that damage. The Zoe is down, Yorick Mori TPs into a top lane turret, and now Chimaera could be looking for a dive, but little do they know that here come Oldboys. KZ is the target. There is a Stand United to buy some more time. He does not get the blast call over the wall. Red Sativa goes into the back and he gets the shut down as Kevin pops the shockwave onto himself. He doesn't manage to find any members. Red Sativa tries to go a nice pulverize from Godfrey, finds the knock up onto 2 members. Red Sativa still on the chase, and now that could be the Baron, even though Prompo is alive.
That's 1,000 gold going over to Supreme just because KZD got a bit impatient and couldn't wait that split second just to move a bit over before taking the blast cone.
Godfrey is going into the pit. Supreme is turning up on him. He has to pop that unbreakable flash away. The Baron will get reset, and even though Oldboys get a nice fight, they are not able to translate that into the big objectives.
And I feel that I don't think that that's going to turn the game. It's a good sign for Oldboys, but that was badly played for Chimaera there. Civic getting too aggressive. They found a really nice pick under turret, and they thought that they could get Yorick Mori, but they failed to consider the Oldboys rotation here. However, this Mountain Drake is going to be really important in terms of the Baron fight that will be coming up.
If you can get that, it just allows you to shred through that objective so much more easily. Callista and Sivir both are fairly good at taking down the big purple worm, which means that this will be a hotly contested place.
Also, Sivir building towards that QSS, which makes a lot of sense for the Zoe Trouble Bubble, for the Braum CC, as they will burn through this Mountain Drake so quickly.
It will be easily secured by Prompo. No contest coming through from Oldboys. They decide they are not strong enough to take this fight, and losing a fight here could mean you the Baron. So weighing up their options, they decide, you know what, we will take the safer one, we will not go for it.
And again, we're going to see Chimaera just send Nizik into the side lane to push. Shen has so much split pushing potential right now, and I think we're going to see Chimaera head over to the Baron pit possibly.
You will want to clear out all of those wards that are currently residing in that area. And I mean, if you look at the vision control, it has been very good for Chimaera consistently. Mostly due to the fact that KZZ is very strong and they can find so many picks combined with Prompo and Godfrey, but also the team effort to just roam around and get those crucial wards has allowed them to sustain that lead.
Godfrey currently has finally picked up... Oh no, he hasn't. He's got the Knight's Vow. Expect the Zekis to come through in just a second though.
That will be a pretty decent item considering you have the Sivir. It allows her to deal more damage, as now Chimaera, they are looking to put the pressure down onto that middle lane. As a 4-man stack, Supreme cannot actually go through the conventional way. This will be a turret going down. Oh, okay, I didn't see that. Random Sativa gets blown up apparently by KZZ. That could actually be the inhibitor. And as the turret is now under scrutiny, My Life has to pop down the Glacial Fissure. It doesn't really do a whole lot, as On the Hand is utilized by KZZ to just get out the Paddle Star onto Godfrey. Chunks him down to half HP. However, My Life is just blown up in the wake of the fight. That is the Glacial Prison connecting, however, onto Supreme. He has to flash away. Pops the kill as well as shut down onto Prompo. Yorick Mori pops down to the Sanguine Pool. That is the knockup. And with a triple kill, Chimaera might just look to end the game.
Yeah, this may be game. And Oldboys, what are you doing? Why are you trying to chase Godfrey? He's tanky. Sure, you got the Sleepy Trouble Bubble off, but they can just turn on you so easily, especially with the Oriana command attack.
Fiamzu trying to look for the assassination. Not enough damage to kill Nizik just yet. They will lose the inhibitor as well. Oh no, I'm sorry. They will lose just some HP on that Nexus start. It will not fall down. However, at 28 minutes old, Chimaera, I should say, they are 7,000 gold ahead.
7,000 gold ahead, and they've got the Mountain Drake. They can look to go straight over to Baron. But watch the items that I picked up. Sivir takes the QSS, takes the Vampiric Scepter. You've now got Sejuani with a Randuin's Omen and Warmog's Armor. Shen's got the Titanic Hydra, which means he's going to be split pushing so much quicker. Meanwhile, Godfrey hasn't had enough gold to pick up the Zeki's Convergence. He has got Aegis of the Legion, and I don't think that's going to be going towards the Locket. It will, I'm fairly certain, be going over to Zeki's Convergence, just so that KZZ has even more damage on that Sivir.
And now the Baron might just be started by Chimaera. They've got that mid lane inhibitor down. There is no real way for Oldboys to contest apart from face checking, as Hexwas is channeled by Godcry. He's looking for mana life. They will find the knockouts, and the Braum is just gonna get cut down and he pops out the Unbreakable. It is too little too late, as KZZ is the one with the kill credit.
And Fiamzu trying to poke down, but you can't poke down when you've got Prompo, Nizik and Godfrey all standing in that front line, as they will go for Baron now. It's 4 men of...
The Shockwave connecting onto Yorick Mori. He cannot really do a lot of work. KZ is already on the killing spree as Fiamzu falls down. Supreme still on the backline trying to do enough, but he cannot. He does not have the damage. He will be taken down by Godfrey. That is 4 members of Oldboys dead. Random Sativa, the only one alive, and Chimaera. They will be looking to take us to a game 3.
Yeah, Nizik's just going to burn the teleport straight away. They're going to push as quickly as they can. Retard Sativa is the only one alive, as Braum, actually Mad Life, has just come up. But can 2 of them defend against the power that is KZZ?
That is the double knockup coming through onto Oldboys. Retard Sativa is nearly taken out. He does use the Void Rush last minute. He goes golden, but the first Nexus turret falls down. Mad Life has to go back onto the spawn. The second turret is down. The Nexus is exposed, and Chimaera will take us to a series in a game 3.
Yeah, really well played for Chimaera. They said in the pick and ban phase, you know what, Sativa? Show us your Rek'Sai. Bring it out. We have the answer for it. And to protect, the ADC comp worked out really well for them. Massive congrats to Chimaera for playing that so cleanly.
And KZZ getting ahead in the lane was the big catalyst. You would not usually expect someone that you want to play around in the late game to be so strong in the lane and just get kills upon kills upon kills. And that is what ultimately won Chimaera the game.
I feel like Chimaera played this so nicely in the pick and ban phase. Because they took the Sivir Alistair so early, it led Oldboys to think, okay, right, you're going for a safe lane. And then Chimaera turned the table and said, no, we're going for protect the carry. How are you going to answer this? And Oldboys did not have the answer.
And what do you think we can expect in game 3 from both of these teams? It will come down to only one match to take the whole series, so what can we expect?
I think it's going to be extremely interesting in the pick and ban phase again, and I'm looking forward to seeing how much Chimaera and Oldboys respect the comfort picks. When I talk about comfort picks, I'm talking about the Yorick, I'm talking about the Kennen, I'm talking about the Rek'Sai. So I am really interested to see how it's all going to come out, but for some reason I feel that Oldboys are going to go for an early game team, and they're going to try to push this through as quickly as they can.
Well, there it is. That is what we can expect. Do not go anywhere. Get some snacks if you don't have them already, because the deciding game 3 will be here after the break. Alright, hello back guys, welcome back. We were slightly cut off by the draft, but it has already gone, and we see Yorick taken off the board as well as Thresh and Lissandra by Oldboys.
That is just not acceptable from Chimaera and Oldboys, trying to catch us out there. But we're onto them. But yeah, Yorick is banned, which is what we expected. Again, continuously giving respect to Oldboys.
Yeah, Zillion also taken out against Chimaera, which it has been a ban for all 3 games, which is, it is an annoying champion. You do have that chrono shift, which is very impactful in the team fights, so I think it is very logical to take it out, as Yasuo will be taken away by Chimaera. Fiamzo had a pretty good performance in game 1 on that.
And going back to that Zillion, not only is it an annoying champion, but Hirian is actually really good at it as well, so as Vladimir is going to be banned, so that's an interesting pick from that's an interesting ban from Oldboys in my opinion.
I think Yorick Mori did pretty. Oh wait, no, that's Oldboys.
Yeah, exactly.
They are probably going for something else then, because
the
they
Lucian's
banned.
open.
Oh, that Lucian was it was banned in both of the games by Oldboys. Now KZZ gets his hand on it, and if I remember correctly, he can really make stuff happen, to put it mildly, on this Lucian.
Okay, and Oldboy's doing the right thing, which is taking the Braum, stopping the Lucian Braum bot lane. Now expect to see a Kennen coming up at some point because it is open. Rek'Sai is also available, but I feel that Sativa may actually opt for the Sejuani this game just because he did a bit better with the Sejuani in game 1 than he did with that Rek'Sai in game number 2.
Yeah, not the greatest performance, however, we're going to have to see if he actually decides to go for it. Maybe he decides to step out game, as Jax is actually the pick for Oldboys.
So that's a really nice flex pick because he can go jungle, and apparently Jax jungle, Jax jungle has had a strong, has had a little bit of a nerf towards jungle, but I still think that's a nice flex pick.
I just got info that apparently Lucian has been banned against KZZ in every single game so far until this one. Well, I'm excited to see it because I think I saw him maybe in the first half of the split, not entirely sure, but Gragas will be the jungler, I would assume, for Chimaera now.
Well, I feel like the flex picks are strong in this game, as Cassiopeia going to be locked in. Again, another flex pick that could either be going in the top lane or in mid lane. I don't want to jinx it too much by saying Cassiopeia APC and then Lucian going mid or something, but okay, Zoe going to be taken for Oldboys.
Zoe has been picked for them, I believe it was in the last game. Fiamzu not really having that much of pressure, mostly due to KZZ just stomping that bot lane, but he was still finding some nice bubbles, some nice poke coming through. So locking that in does make a lot of sense. And now, what do you really ban? Because you can't put those champions in many different places. Always they just decide to take away the cannon for good measure.
Well, I would say ban off the Rek'Sai anyway. Maybe ban off the Sejuani, because that is that's what we know Retep Sativa can play, the Sejuani and the Rek'Sai, and we haven't seen him play anything else this split yet. So I'm starting to ask the question: can he play anything else? And on that basis, that's why I would like to see one of those two being banned off.
One thing that Retep has practiced a lot in solo queue, and I know that you really got excited for, was Silas in the jungle, and it is open.
As Ezreal banned? Okay.
Yeah, Ezreal once again taking off, just removing those safe AD carries. I really want to see a Silas, not gonna lie, especially that I think Weather has played it a fair bit in his solo queue, and it was actually banned against him in game 1. If that gets locked in, it could be good. However, you do have to think about the value of the pick, and that I'm not sure of.
I'm feeling Karthus jungle as well right now, although Kai'Sa. So Oldboys have decided, right, we're going to go super late game with the Kai'Sa, with the Jax. We've got a Braum to protect our Kai'Sa, and the Zoe can do a fair bit of damage in the early game. Cassiopeia a very late game pick. Cassiopeia strong in the late game. So at least Chimaera do have something towards that late game. Now expect Chimaera to take 2 nice beefy tanks for that Lucian. Okay, I'm
Pike. Yeah, well, it is a Pike though, which does really consist of a strong bot lane. You have got a lot of kill pressure, and even though Kai'Sa, she is a pretty good hyper carry, she does scale nicely, she will be vulnerable to any sort of attacks.
Yeah, and remember how I said at the end of game 2, expect Oldboys to go for an early game comp? It's the other way around. Oldboys have said we're going to take the late game scaling comp. We haven't seen a Kai'Sa's Renekton locked in for Chimaera.
Wait, Nizik? I think there was something with Nizik and Renekton, if I am right. I don't actually remember at that point.
Yeah, he has played it once, but he went 0-9 on that game.
I guess we don't talk about it, but maybe this time it will be a better one, because that is a very aggressive top laner. If it is a Jax top for Oldboys, this lane is very punishable.
But now we'll find out if the Jax is going top.
Is it Silas? No, the
Maokai.
Jax is jungle. It will be the Maokai.
Yeah. Jax jungle, Maokai, a nice safe pick to play against a Renekton, but Chimaera have gone for that early game. They said, fine, if we can't get Lucian Braum, we'll take a Lucian Pike. Even more early game threats, or at least threats coming from a lot of sources. So Chimaera, if you're Oldboys, you have to watch out for every single one of these Chimaera champions, as they can all do a lot of damage to you. While for Oldboys, it's going to be the Kai'Sa and the Jax in that late game that you have to watch out for, while Zoe will be dealing that consistent poke. So this game is going to come down entirely to whether Chimaera can pop off in that early game and absolutely steamroll Oldboys before about 25-26 minutes.
And that was what we talked about Oldboys last time. They in game 2 they needed to snowball, and they failed to do so against Chimaera. Now Chimaera are in that position, and KZZ has shown to be strong in a 2v2 together with Godfrey, when they had a bot lane that isn't necessarily as strong in a 2v2. Now they've got so much damage, and if those bone skewers will land, it should be a kill. KZZ is set up to succeed, and I really want to see him pop off on a Lucian, because one thing that I think I tried to say last game was that he doesn't always carry the games. However, if he gets ahead, and if he is in position to carry one, then he will take it all the way, and he will be the person you are looking at.
I also want to mention, while this Chimaera team, they have a lot of damage, you also have a lot of CC. And considering that it's going to be your Kai'Sa who will deal a lot of damage in that late game, the miasma from the Cassiopeia can stop a lot of that maneuverability and the abilities coming through, while Renekton has CC and deals damage with that CC. Pike has damage and CC, and Gragas of course has the CC, and the ultimate from Gragas could massively change a team fight in this.
Not only change a team fight, it is also a great ganking tool. It does only become available at level 6, however Gragas as a jungler, he can influence these lanes. And when you look at Oldboys, well, bot lane could be slightly tough to gank if Pike doesn't connect the bone skewer, but mid lane, it is wide open. You are playing into a Zoe, and we talked last game about how possible it is to just gank that Zoe and kill her.
Yeah, and again, I'm interested to see what summoner spells we will see coming out, because if you're playing against the Jax, Kai'Sa and Maokai, we may see a cleanse coming through. To be fair though, we could see the cleanse coming from Zoe just to protect against the Cassiopeia ultimate.
It could make a lot of sense just to get yourself that one extra escape tool, as in the draft it is confirmed it is Maokai in the top lane. For a second I thought it could be Maokai in the jungle, but they will just put it up against Renekton, and it isn't really that great of a matchup. Yorick Mori has been able to get leads in that top lane in the games 1 and 2, but this time he isn't really set up to succeed, and I would not be surprised to see Nizik just completely take over that lane in CS and possibly even in the kills.
And again, I am looking forward to watching this mid lane matchup because I feel it is a complete skill matchup once again between the Zoe and Cassiopeia. Also going to be interesting to see how the junglers prioritize lanes. Expect the Jax to try to deny the Lucian getting ahead in that early game, and similarly Gragas will be trying to get Lucian ahead, so I feel like a lot of resources will be poured into this bot lane.
Definitely, I agree. Last time we saw KZZ carry on a Sigurd, now he can, if he can carry on a Lucian, that is a great thing. However, for the other team, for Oldboys, it is also a viable tactic. Since Kai'Sa is a hyper carry, it could be funneled into once you get some of these items. Then it is something that you can carry as there was a dodge, I believe. Oh, backsplat. There was a backsplat coming through from one of the players, so we just get some more time to talk about this game.
Yeah, and I think that was from actually Fiam. I think it was Fiamzu who had the bug splat.
I think it was Yorick Mori, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So hopefully next time we'll actually get into game, but again, let's look at the top lane. You've got Maokai versus Renekton. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I know Renekton that well. He's always been one of those champions who's kind of like a Yorick for me, who I know he does stuff and he's got loads of life steal when he ults and he's disgusting, but I've never fully understood him. But that being said, Renekton versus Maokai, Maokai is still a very safe laner, so he will be able to essentially survive in the lane easily against Renekton.
I mean, Renekton is known to be a lane bully, and whenever I see a Renekton, I really want to see it just go into the lane and be like, what up, and then take either a huge CS lead or kill the laner repeatedly. Against the Maokai, I agree, it is very hard without some proper jungle pressure from Prompo to get those kills. But when you are Renekton, well, once you hit the late game, you are slightly less useful, let's say, than you would be in the early game.
Yeah, and watch out for the Cassiopeia rotation, because early levels she will have far more movement speed than the Zoe due to her passive. So it's going to be interesting to see whether she will actually rotate and follow Prompo around, whether that is to the top lane, to the bot lane, or maybe to assist for an invade in the jungle.
Right, and talking about the jungle, I feel like we could also pay some attention to that, not lane, that role. Gragas into Jax. So, how does it really work? Okay, so we know that Gragas really wants to gank with a Predator. What does a Jax jungle want to do?
Right, Jax is one of those champions where you're really strong late, so you do want to scale up as much as possible. Your gank potential is not the best. You need to have your counter-strike available, and even with that up, against something like a Lucian, against something like a Pyke, even against a Renekton, all of these champions have dashes. It's going to be hard for Jax to try and get a gank off. So Jax's best bet is to try to counter jungle, because he should... I mean, Jax is the king of 1v1s. So Jax should be trying to counter jungle the Gragas as much as possible, especially around a lane for Oldboys that is pushing in. So if Zoe's pushing Cassiopeia, then the Zoe has priority to help out that Jax in the jungle. So watch out for Jax getting off some nice counter jungling, but also watch out for him getting off counter ganks, because while he may not be able to get off a nice gank, he can get off a counter gank and be able to turn the tables in a fight.
You mentioned just slightly the mid lane priority. I would like to just take a deeper look for a while, as we're sorry for the delays, as we have said, there was a backsplat for one of the players and we are repeating the draft, so the spectator delay is still to come through. However, mid lane priority, you said that Zoe should push in a Cassiopeia. However, that also opens up for Prompo to look for some potential ganks.
Yeah. But again, it all comes down to communication. So as long as the Zoe kind of says, hey, Retep, do you need some help? Or Retep says, hey, I want to go and counter jungle in a second. And Fiamzu says, okay, fine, right, I'm going to shove in this wave. And then Retep says, great, so you shove in the wave, I'll push. Then if Frompo decides to come and gank, Retep Sativa is already close by for the counter gank. And that's what you always want to do. You always want to be pushing at the right times when you know your jungler is nearby. You want to be able to freeze when you know that you don't have that support from your jungler.
I think that makes a lot of sense. You do not want to get caught out as. Now the spectator delay comes to an end, so the summoners are locked in. And you mentioned Fiamzu maybe potentially going for a cleanse against that petrifying gaze. However, it will be Heavian who will pick the cleanse, obviously against the Sleepy Trouble Bubble and avoiding that pick potential.
Because if the Sleepy Trouble Bubble does land and Retep Sativa is near, he will be able to jump in and land the counter strike. And that's when, as Heavian, you start to think, right, I may be dead now. So a lot of respect being given to that. All the other summoner spells are normal. Heals coming from the ADCs, ignites from your supports, and TPs from your top laners. And for the third time in a row, we will be seeing Zoe with an ignite.
Yeah, that does allow you to have some more killing threat, which, well, always helps you. If you can get ahead on the Zoe, that is the thing you need to look for. Last game, Fiamzu wasn't able to get the kills on the Zoe, wasn't really able to do a whole lot. This game, hopefully he can do something else as well. We are just a few minutes away from going into our deciding game 3. Now, the last lane we haven't really talked about in depth is that bot lane. What we said is that Chimaera, they will have a kill bot lane, and Oldboys, they will just try to need to survive or maybe look for some potential picks should the opportunity arise.
Now, I'm just going to say that Chimaera may have made a mispick. So I'm going slightly mean here. Chimaera may have made a slight mispick because every single game that I've casted, and I think a couple of them were with you, some of them were with Kerim, but whenever there was a Lucian bot against the Kai'Sa, Lucian somehow always lost lane against Kai'Sa. We didn't know why, but it was just Lucian kept losing to Kai'Sa. Now, what should happen is the Kai'Sa Braum should dominate that bot lane and should be able to... sorry, not Kai'Sa. The Lucian Pyke should dominate the bot lane and push in the Kai'Sa Braum. And then from that, they should have more CS, the ability to rotate, especially for Pyke. Pyke loves to rotate. Pyke wants to go to that mid lane, wants to get a gank. He wants to go and help Gragas, whether that's counter jungling. If Jax decides to counter jungle, Pyke will want to be there. So watch out for the Lucian Pyke lane really shoving in the wave onto Kai'Sa and Braum. Whereas if you're Kai'Sa and Braum, expect Kai'Sa just to take the Dawn Shield, play nice and safe until she can start getting strong with the Rage Blade, with the Runaan's Hurricane, with that Infinity Edge.
And I think the support picks in specific, they really do nicely show the type of playstyle that both of these supports like to play. Mudlife, he plays the Braum, and he often likes to play around Supreme, and Braum, well, that's what you do. You play around your AD carry, you make sure they can be the carry, you make sure they don't die, and you make sure that Supreme can just pop off in those later game team fights. Whereas Godfrey, he loves those playmakers, and he's now finally on the Pyke, where he has also the opportunity to roam mid lane onto Fiamzu. No cleanse on the Zoe means that the pick potential is there, and well, I'm just excited to see if Godfrey can actually unleash his inner roaming monster and get some nice kills for Heavian or for himself, and make sure that Fiamzu's life is as miserable as possible.
Yeah, and we are now into the loading screens, and I got a massive shock. Like, there's so many bright colors. You got the pool party Renekton, pool party Zoe, Jade Fang, Cassiopeia. It almost blinded me. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any response. I'm gonna leave it at that.
We're going into the skin memes now. What's the best skin in the game? All that kind of stuff.
The best skin in the game is the classic skin, because that's how Faker plays it.
Oh. So what is the best classic skin then?
I don't know. the best meta champion. I don't know. We are going into the game though. Game 3 between Oldboys and Chimaera. 1 to decide it. Oh, let us know in the chat. Who do you think is going to win? No stats jokes this time. Just let us know if you feel like it, and we will be jumping into the rift.
No stats jokes. I feel like 51% of people make up a stats joke at some point in time. Okay.
How do you get that stat though?
I don't know. 51% of people tell me that, so there you go.
Okay, nice.
All teams spanning out at the minute, just making sure no one's going for a cheeky invade, which is definitely possible with Godfrey on the Pike.
Yeah, looks like no real invade. We had Thresh, no invade. We have Pike, no invade. Looks like neither of these teams are really fans of getting early kills. And I'm going to make a bold prediction, actually not that bold. Both of the junglers will start on the red buff, like every single game so far.
I feel that's reasonable. To be honest, there's few junglers who would love to prioritize a blue buff. And with that, that's champions who really need their mana. So we're talking about Nocturnes, Evelynns, Karthus as well, although Karthus is fairly happy with red buff. Maybe even Echo, I think, as well. He likes his red buff. He likes his blue buff, sorry.
Makes sense, and this time Supreme and Madlife will actually not show in the lane, so they will not immediately give away the information to Chimaera about where Redip has started, so we could be seeing him try to attempt some early ganks though. Well, it is a Jax, we'll have to see what he decides to go for. Has some possible setup in the top lane, but that's about it.
So let's watch out for the top lane and bot lane, because we might see this Renekton try to bully as much as possible, and in the bot lane we should see the Lucian be able to bully out the lane. Whether he'll shove it in or freeze is a different matter though.
Yeah, so far KZZ isn't really looking to push that wave into the tower. Madlife and Supreme doing a fairly decent job of just picking up whatever CS they can. As long as they don't get caught out, they should be in a good spot. But saying that, Madlife gets stunned up, pulled back with the bone skewer, takes a bit of damage, but so does KZZ, so the trade in the end goes about even.
And I do really like it when you see Pice go for the E dash first and save the bone skewer for later. I always find it a nice little combo, because then you think, hey, we're out of it, and it's like, no you're not, here's a bone skewer.
Yeah, and that just means that Madlife eats even more damage. If you take a look at the pathing of the junglers, they are both sticking to their respective sides of the map where they started. Neither of them has recalled yet, neither of them has come into their other side of the jungle, and not one person has tried to make a gank yet, as they will both turn towards their Scuttle Crabs.
Right, and some interesting stats for you, Kachka.
Okay.
Kai'Sa has gone for the Doran's Blade, counter to what I thought initially, so she's planning to play this fairly aggressively. Also, Pyke has gone for the Relic Shield, and usually you see Pikes go for that Ancient Coin. So just some interesting items I'd put out there for you.
And that's interesting. You get that Relic Shield for Godfrey, more HP, some nice healing as well. And not much else is actually happening on the map right now. It does seem like both of these teams, they're just waiting for the right moment, as Redip will take away the blue buff from Prompo, and if he plays it right, he might actually 3-buff him.
Yeah, and if he can get that buff in time and get into the brush, I thought he could get off a nice gank, but he doesn't have the item, so he doesn't want to fight this right now. So he'll just take that and run away. Oh, look how sad Prompo is. He's gotten to the blue buff and it's gone.
That actually does put him behind if Redip Sativa gets his entire bot side jungle pretty significantly, just denying some gold of that Gragas. It's not big, but because he can still gank, but it is still something.
Yeah, and bot lane, as the bone skewer will not land, fairly even in CS, so Lucian hasn't quite got to the stage where he's able to really get off a massive advantage. HP is fairly even as well.
Yeah, as I said, and I will say it once again, not a lot is happening. If you take a look at the CS difference is actually Fiamso in that middle lane. I cannot English. He does get tagged by the body slam. He does flash away in the end though. So a nice gank to force the summoner. We could be seeing a repeat gank.
Yeah, he could turn around, but I think he might just head back and take his, what is it called? The Gromp. As Jax is also going to back, so he's done a massive wave clear. He hasn't backed yet. How much gold does he have? He's got 1,200, so he'll go straight for his jungling item. He's picked up the Skirmisher Saber. He's taken a Dark Seal as well, so that's really interesting. So let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, it does kind of mean that he wants to either get for the kills or just the healing from potions. Not sure which one, probably the latter, considering that Jax not necessarily the most early game active ganking jungler. As Prompo, he's taking around that middle lane. No flash on Fiamzu means this lane is wide open.
Yeah, Prompo maybe just thinking, oh, I'll take away some of Sativa's camps, and Sativa just says, well, thank you for the leech. And bot lane, not too much happening. It's been a fairly, I don't want to say boring, but it's been a fairly quiet game so far.
Definitely the case, and actually Supreme has been able to keep up in the CS, so KZ unable to really bully out that bot lane. As Madlife jumps forward, he gets knocked back into nothingness, and just another trade in that bot lane, resulting in not much more than some potions, some HP traded back and forth.
And again, I'm just looking at the map, seeing what could start a fight. We've got an Ocean Drake. That will be useful for the Gragas. It'll stack on top of his Predator boots. But aside from that, there's not too much going on. So this is working out well for... I'm forgetting team names. It's working out well for Oldboys because you've got Sativa, you've got Supreme. This is what they want. They want to stall out this game to make it last as long as possible so that Kai'Sa and the Jax can come online.
Right, however, you also run into the problem of Heavian coming online, so how do you really balance it? Because it seems like Oldboys, yes, they have the superior AD carry, and Renekton will fall back out. However, Heavian, if he plays it well, he can supply the damage by himself.
True, Heavian is strong late, but it's one strong late game champion from Chimaera versus 2/3 from Oldboys, as we're seeing a skirmish in the top lane.
Isaac is chunking down Yorick Mori quite effectively on that Renekton, has got the Tiamat already, which means he can bully him out fairly effectively, and that is what we are seeing at this current point, as the gold lead is actually even. And I will ask you this question: is it necessary for Chimaera to snowball in this early game, or are they allowed to just sit back and look for the perfect moment rather than try to make plays?
I think it's really important for Chimaera to get the early game, just because you need that Lucian to get online. Sure, Chimaera have damage from lots of source, so Lucian's not their only damage source, but he is the win condition. If you're going to pick a Lucian, you need to get ahead. If you're level coming out of the laning phase, you have lost as a Lucian. It's as simple as that. And considering that you've had your crit item buffs, the crit item buffs haven't exactly helped Lucian or Kai'Sa specifically, but if it's going to help anyone, I feel that it helps Kai'Sa slightly more, because Lucian can go for more of that kind of Black Cleaver build, whereas Kai'Sa will go for something like the Runa's Hurricane plus Infinity Edge build.
Godquai has to use the Phantom Undertow to get out from a dangerous encounter with Red Ape Sativa. He will just clear out the vision. It is an Ocean Drake first, and it seems like not a whole lot of priority will be paid from either of these teams, but it is still a nice objective that they could maybe look to get.
Yeah, and in the top lane, we're starting to see a bit of a CS advantage coming through. Maokai going for the Bramble Vest as his first item, which I do like the idea of that, just so that Renekton with the Tiamat essentially kills himself, as I like to say.
Oldboys, they are looking for some sort of an engage. They will not find it. Level 6s are available across the board. Only Godquai actually still without his ultimate. Without that execute, it will be slightly difficult for Chimaera to pull out some fights. However, they are still looking fairly good with some slight gold lead.
Well, Godfrey is quite close to 6, so after this wave he may actually hit 6, or will hit 6 in the middle of a team fight. And oh, sorry,
yeah,
go on, Catch.
Continue.
Okay, I was just gonna say Prompo starting up on Drake, but Sativa says no, we don't want you taking any Drakes early game, we're the late game team. You leave the Drakes alone.
Actually, I like what Oldboys are doing. In terms of the bot lane, you can really call it pressure. However, well, Supreme and Madlife, they are not relenting to that matchup, and as a result, it is hard for Chimaera to really abuse that Lucian, as Prompo is looking for a gank in the top lane. A good cask brings back Yorick Mori, forces his flash away, but he should be fine right now.
Don't forget that he has the ultimate available, and look at that, Red Tape Sativa is there for the counter gank, which we mentioned in the pre-show.
Yeah, there's a twisted advance as well as Nature's Grass catching onto both members. However, Oldboys are running down. Their Type Sativa is stunned down, taken down for first blood, as Nizik is the one to get the kill credit. Fiamsu looking for a return kill, will find it in the end. Haven has joined the fight though. Propo 200 HP, can he survive? The answer is yes for now. Haven flashing forward, he's looking for the twin fangs. Godfrey gets the kill to Madlife in the bottom, switching back in the top lane. Fiamsu looking for a turn kick, he does find the CP trial. However, Haven with these twin fangs will be able to actually the bottom. Godfrey gets a double kill and across the map. That is a 5-for-1 in favor of Chimaera.
And all of a sudden, Chimaera have just turned this game on. Sativa, they tried to go for the counter gank, and they thought that they could do it with Fiamsu turning up as well, rotating quite nicely, but they just didn't have the HP. They didn't have the early game. As look in the top lane.
Lurkmore trying to go on to Prompo, however Hivian showing up will mean that he cannot go for the assassination, and this game just quite literally, as you put it, blew up. 11 minutes in, 4,000 gold lead out of nowhere. You've got a Luden's Echo on Hivian, you've got a Blade of the Ruin King onto KZZ, and Chimaera, they are looking to be in prime position to win this game.
And this is a big mistake from Oldboys. You were playing it so nicely as
Knight goes into the pit, he does not get the dragon.
Brom does secure it. But as Godcry might get caught out now. Ultimate not available.
Madlife might be the one actually getting caught out. He gets stunned by the final Wonder 2, does manage to jump away. Good Glacial Fissure to secure the disengage. That is an ultimate blown though. One less that Oldboys can use. Fiamsu looking for a kill onto Heavy and will actually chunk him down significantly, but he will survive thanks to that nullifying orb. As 12.5 minutes into the game, Oldboys they get the dragon, but they are still behind, and Chimaera, they will be looking to push their advantage even further.
As I was saying before, Madlife so rudely interrupted me. Oldboys were playing this so well. They were going late, and then all of a sudden, they decided, right, we'll go for this counter gank in the top lane when they had no need to engage there. They decided to play super aggressively in the bot lane because they knew no one was there.
Madlife, he has to pop down the Unbreakable Godfrey, trying to go in for the assassination. He gets the death from below. KZ now popping up the heal, and the Supreme looking for some return kill. However, that Lucian is strong. Oh, the killer instinct into the backline. Supreme will get one back, but is immediately taken down by Godfrey as he secures himself a double kill.
Really nice outplay there from Supreme to at least get something going in their favor, and I think he'll get a little bit of bounty gold. I think it was about 500, so that will be extremely useful for Supreme.
Nizik now 1 versus 2 in that top lane. Wintersplit jumping forward. Dominus has been popped, giving Nizik some more survivability. He has to flash away. Here comes Hivian though, with that ground and the petrifying gaze, secures himself a double kill, and that is a 4-0 Cassiopeia.
And Cassio is so strong now, and Chimaera have started playing this so well. Top turret may also fall as Fiamsu is heading over to that top lane.
Fiamsu is trying to buy some more time, only one plating left, as actually they will all fall at this point, and 40 minutes into the game, Chimaera find themselves with a 5,000 gold lead, and it's mostly on top of the individual plays coming through Hivian and Godfrey taking most of the kills.
Now don't forget guys, when you look at Godfrey and think, oh, that's pointless, all the kills are on the support, don't forget Death from Below does give that passive, where the gold that you get goes over to your ADC.
And that means that KZZ is currently ahead by 1,000 gold, has got that Blade of the Ruin King for a while, whereas Supreme is still not able to complete his first item. Means that there is a significant difference in the damage. And right now, if you are Chimaera, what do you try to do? What do you try to do to further your lead even more?
Well, it's a shame they couldn't get the Drake, but right now Cassio heading over to the bot lane. get Lucian further ahead. That's always a good idea.
Yeah, they will be looking to put pressure down in the bot lane, as Heavian is currently sitting down there in the river. Might get spotted out by Fiamzu on his way back. It's the sleepy trial bubble that Pulsar could be big. Immediately is cleansed away from Heavian, does not take the risk. He just uses his summoner and is fine.
Yeah. So currently the gold advantage is over to Chimaera, which is what should be the case. A 5k gold lead, but one Drake is over on Oldboys, which is good for them for their late game strength.
Ocean Drake does help you to regen it up. It also saves them in the laning phase, because having that bonus health and mana regeneration when you are losing a lane is very helpful to just stay alive under your turret, and it applies to literally every single member. As in the top lane there could be a fight coming through, and simultaneously in the bottom lane my life gets stunned up by a Phantom Undertow. Okay, is looking out to dish out the damage. Ignite is down. There is the Glacial Fissure. Ignite is still working onto my life's HP, however he will survive in the end. Supreme able to dish out some nice damage in return.
The Glacial Fissure just stopping the damage coming from KZ, but so low now. Can they actually hold this turret, or will we see a bot lane in
Oh, that is a bolt square. Supreme immediately has to flash away. KZ gets the kill as the top lane turret falls. Yorick Mori is now the target. Oh, Fiamzu gets a solo kill to Heavian in that middle lane, but Yorick Mori is getting run down. Prompt actually low on HP. He has to be careful. Yorick Mori will be just happy with running away.
Yeah, and he'll use the ultimate to be able to let him escape. But that's another kill going over onto Lucian, who is now going to be really strong. He has Blade of the Rune King, and he'll probably be going for that Black Cleaver next. Meanwhile, Supreme has got that Infinity Edge.
Fiamzu, though, getting that kill in mid lane means that Heavian is down, which opens up for a potential Herald from Oldboys. The reason I'm saying potential is in the bot lane they take the target. Oh, they dive! Mad Life, there is nothing this poor Brom could have done, and that is another kill going over to Goldfight, but the Herald is picked up.
You say there's nothing he could have done, but there is something. He could have got the hell away from that turret.
That is very true.
You know your turret's on 200 HP and that they will just ignore you and take the turret. He should not have stayed there, and I feel that was a rookie. That was a silver mistake there from Mad Life.
Maybe he thought he could buy some more time. Well, I guess we will never know. 17 minutes into the game, Chimaera, they are still just growing their gold lead. It is getting bigger, it isn't getting smaller at all. However, I like the fact that Oldboys, they are starting to hit their first items. Actually, first item is completed everywhere. You have the Thormail, Luden's Echo, and the Infinity Edge, as well as the completed Cinderhulk for Retep.
Kachka, I'm going to call that discrimination against support. The supports don't have their first item. Our support's not important in this game.
Okay, let me actually use my argument. Support items do not matter as much unless they are very, like, huge spikes. And they will be, like, my life is going to complete his first item by, like, 23 minutes. Therefore, I'm talking about everyone but support.
Oh, explosive casket in the jungle.
Well, also trading down in the bot lane, so there is fighting on multiple fronts currently happening. Supreme and my life should be able to get out in the end. Bone Skewer connects onto Supreme. He uses the killer instinct, but he can't get away. Nearly takes down KZ's head, but Heavian comes in to pick up the kill.
And if Heavian didn't come, I think Supreme may have just picked up that kill. However, fight in the jungle.
Godfrey looking for that flank. Nice Glacial Fissure. However, Retep City is pulled back in. He flashes not quite over the wall. And there's the death from below. Godfrey is doing anything. Can he look for the second one? Yes, he can. He dunks Mad Life down. And that is double kill gold going over to KZZ as well. And Chimaera, they are looking like the dominant team in this game 3.
And Godfrey and Hirion on the Pike and Cassiopeia respectively have been really, really good this game and have helped them massively start turning this game. And I feel as there's a kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, Godfrey is legendary. Yorick Mori gets dove underneath his own turret. That Thormail ain't gonna save you even if everyone is nearly full AP. Heavian and Fiamzu, they are trading down in that ball lane. Ignite is going down onto the Cassiopeia. Heavian gets the kill. However, the minions, they will not finish him off. And he just slithers away with a kill.
5 HP. 5. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
One more minion attack would have done it, so unlucky there from Fiamzu. Tried to get the fight in the minion wave, but he couldn't quite pick up the kill. And I feel like Chimaera are well on their way to getting... Well, they have already got this early game advantage, and I feel that they are in a good position now to snowball and take game 3.
I think that is very much true. Godfire Spike has been so impressive. He's 8-0 and 2, currently sitting on 1800 gold, so he should be able to complete his first item as probably Yomu's Ghost Blade, unless he really fancies himself that Dust Blade.
There we go. Dust Blade coming through. Is that an important item, Kachka, for a support?
I think it is.
Okay.
Mind you explain why.
Right, so just to explain how Dust Blade works, if you are invisible, when you get an auto attack off, it deals bonus damage. That combined with the Dark Harvest that Godfrey doesn't have, as Rift Herald, they will actually use Rift Herald to gain a turret.
Yeah, that's where it gives you a lot of damage. Also, vision control is very good because it pretty much tells you where the wards are, even if you don't see them. So that is a crucial pickup, as the Baron is now spawned. And what can Oldboys do at this point to try and scramble back some comeback?
They just have to play safe. They have to play safe and drag this game out for as long as possible. They need to not die. They need to not risk everything for this Baron. They need to say, fine, we don't have the strength to contest this. We'll try to poke it. But if you get Baron, that's fine. We'll just try to defend this and play damage limitation until our hyper carries come online.
Yeah, Oldboys are playing it very defensively. They managed to actually fend Chimaera off that Baron buff, which means that Oldboys, they get themselves some more time. Chimaera decides that, well, it's not worth to go for the Baron when there is that steal potential. Red Up Sativa, he has got the way to get in the pit, and you do not want your Baron to be stolen away when you are this far ahead.
Yeah, it'd just be an unforced error, and they're currently 9k gold ahead. If I'm just going to take a quick look what the next Drake is. It's going to be another Ocean. So that's going to be a more regen. And currently 1 Ocean each. So that new Ocean could be really good. Especially for sieging from the side of Chimaera.
Yeah, if they get themselves some of that nice health regen, as you said, sieging just becomes so much easier, and Oldboys look to be the ones to pick that up for themselves to survive the siege on the other part. However, Prompo, he will be looking for a potential steal. That is the Banshee's Veil gone from Heavian, so he is now susceptible to CC. However, I am not sure how far Oldboys want to take it. I really like the poke from Fiamsu though.
Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of the Zoe in pretty much every comp, is just being able to continuously poke, especially against Chimaera in this game where we expect to see Chimaera try to siege. If you can poke them down and counteract that Ocean Drake regen, it'll be really good. But right now, Chimaera are just pushing in mid lane.
Oh, that miasma from Heavian stopping any sort of response, and good play from Chimaera will net them that mid lane tower. They could actually be looking for the inhibitor. Look at Oldboys, they are nowhere near.
Oldboys can't get back to their turret. They tried to prioritize the Drake, and Chimaera said, fine, guard Drake, we'll just take your objectives.
And the miasma, another one from Heavian, just stopping any sort of engage. Chimaera, they are pulling Oldboys across the map. They opened their base, and now they might be looking to play around this Baron.
Yeah, they definitely have to play for this Baron now. Nithik has the TP, so he could possibly push in any of the side lanes, maybe even the mid lane, and try to rotate as Chimaera will now go for this Ocean Drake.
Yeah, they will pick that one for themselves. It is a free objective. However, look at the good points for Oldboys. They got the Ginsu's Rage Blade on Supreme, and it might sound like some false hope at this point, but this Kai'Sa is a real threat the more items she gets.
I will say this, Chimaera are playing this really well. They're not getting too greedy. They're taking their advantages, playing the map and looking for the objective. If they can't take one objective, they'll take another objective. But that being said, Oldboys are playing this well as well. They're playing slow. They're not risking too much. Back there where the Cassiopeia used a miasma, if they were slightly greedier, they could have tried to get a team fight to defend the turret, but they didn't do that. They're waiting patiently, and I do like this from Oldboys.
However, Chimaera, they are still in the lead. They've got 3 items on their carries, both on Hivian and on KZZ. These guys will be doing work in these team fights. And whereas Fiamzu has finally managed to pick up his Morello Nomicon, I am not really sure if it is enough.
You've got the Morellonomicon, which does deal with the regen that comes through from the Cassiopeia and from the Lucian, and actually from the Renekton when he does burn the ultimate.
At this point, really, it is kind of hard for Nizik to do a lot. He will be that big bruiser that can dish out damage in the back line. However, he's in the lane bully anymore, as actually the Baron is now started. Teleport is committed from Yorick Mori, and Chimaera, they will just take it and be like, right, we disengage.
Yeah, brilliant from Chimaera. They see Maokai in the bot lane, so they say, fine, we'll start Baron. Oh, Maokai's TPing in? Right, we'll back off. Now, next time Maokai decides to split push, or next time Renekton split pushes and Maokai tries to answer it, Renekton can TP to Baron and Maokai can't. So really well played there from Chimaera.
And Isaac is already making his way down towards that bot side. Chimaera will be abusing that teleport advantage for them, and they're just playing really well with the lead that they have. You could, in theory, try to say, why is it taking them 26 minutes to finish the game? But I feel like it's more because of how well Oldboys are playing around what little they have.
Yeah, and we are slowly approaching, so I would say maybe about 30 minutes we'll start to see Oldboys come alive. But even though they'll slowly start coming online, they won't be stronger than Chimaera until maybe 35 minutes or a little bit after that. So while Chimaera are correct to play this slowly and not risk everything, they do need to have a little sense of urgency. I also want to take a quick mention at Sativa and the Jax jungle. Jax is really good because he can split push. He can go in a side lane and he can win pretty much any side lane 1v1 matchup, unless maybe it's against a Fiora or something that's really defensive. But if you have a Jax jungle, you can't, well, you can split push, but you need to be near objectives, because if you try to split push by yourself, the enemy team can say, fine, we'll take the objective because your jungler with the smite is nowhere nearby.
Yeah, and that really restrains Red Up to what options he can take. And you can see him itemize slightly defensively as Fiamzu is getting jumped on in the middle lane. He lands his TP Tribal. Now KZZ, he really gets nuked! Red Up Sativa goes in for a shutdown.
Yeah, and now we could see Oldboys go for the Baron. KZZ, I don't want to say it, but they may have just lost the game with that if they can pick up the Baron. However, I do doubt that.
Well, still a long way to losing a game. However, it is not good for them as my life already drops in a team fight. Supreme is on the side lane trying to dish out the damage from Purple. Finally, for that is the second kill going forward to Goldfight. Fiamzu doing whatever he can. Ignite is taking down on Goldfight, and a shutdown will be found under the pike. Hivian though is still alive. There comes Nizik, and Hivian is on a killing spree. In the end, the fight goes even at 3-4-3.
Yeah, and Fiamzu, sorry, not Fiamzu, Godfrey looking just to get Fiamzu low enough so he could get the depth from below to actually get the execute off, but he was unable to do so there. Really well played from Oldboys, that's what you want. And I did say only moments ago that this is the point where Oldboys will start to come alive.
Right, they are slowly getting towards those items. Fiamzu has double needlessly large rods. The death cap is in his side, and whereas if you look at the other side, there are more items. Well, we are getting to that point where Fiamzu and Supreme will just take over whatever fights they want. That 1,000 gold shutdown, who did it go to? It went to... let me just check. It went to Fiamzu. That's why he has those double needlessly large rods. And well, it is not the greatest look for Chimaera. However, they are still in the lead, and you have to trust that they will be able to use it to get themselves back on foot.
So I'm looking at Fiamzu right now. 350 magic damage, and his paddle star deals up to 1,000 damage right now.
That is a lot, indeed.
So watch out for the poke, especially if he can land the Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto KZZ or Hirian.
It will be something that we really need to pay our attention to us. In the meantime, Chimaera have gotten themselves that Infernal J, crucial to deny it from Oldboys, as Red Up Sativa is just getting chased down by Hivian. You know, we are talking about the Kaisa, but Cassiopeia herself will do a lot in that late game. And
let's just see how this fight goes. If they will engage, as the culling will come
Oh,
through.
that is the sleepy trap bubble. However, Supreme goes into the back and can't get the kill. The answer is no for now. And Godfly gets out over the wall. Heavian has to burn the cleanse. He's drowsy, falls asleep. Yorick Mori going in. He goes golden. However, Promo slays Supreme Fiamso. He needs to play around this fight perfectly. He's the only carry for his life. If he dies, it might be the game over. He has to go golden. KZ is over the wall. Can he do the wall? Can he get the kill on the Zoe? And Fiamso, he gets the double kill. However, he will fall in the end. Red Up Sativa trying to do whatever he can. He will pick up yet another kill. So far at 4-4-3 in favor of Chimaera. Red Up, the only person alive. He will buy as much time as he can, but an ace is inevitable.
Now, that is still a decent fight from the side of Oldboys. They did lose everyone. Braum's back up in a second. They may lose the top turret, but I don't think they will lose an inhibitor. And these fights are slowly going more and more to the favor of Oldboys, or they're losing it less and less, but they are crucially stopping Baron plays.
However, they are still losing these fights, and the question becomes, how much can you lose before you lose the actual game? And with each fight, Chimaera, they are closer to just getting that Baron and actually breaking open an inhibitor, at which point Oldboys, they will find it difficult.
But Supreme has just hit his item spike. He's now got the Infinity Edge, Rage Blade, and Runa's Hurricane. In that last fight, KZZ survived on maybe 20 HP or something. If he had died there, that would have been game over instantly. So I do feel that now we will start to see the fights being really, really close, and it won't be a case of Chimaera win the fight unless they play really, really badly. It will be a case of Oldboys can win the fight if they can get the fight onto their terms.
And Fiamso with those nukes or paddle stars, he's been so influential. KZZ nearly died because of that. Heavian died in the end because of that. And this guy is nearly solo coming. Last fight, Supreme, he didn't really do a lot because he tried to commit onto KZZ and died in the end. And when you combine the power of both of the carries of Oldboys, if they both stay alive in the fight, then Chimaera will have a very tough task, you know, ahead of them.
Right, would you like an interesting stat, Kachka?
Yes, if it's an actual stat and not an item.
Right. The Paddle Star deals 1,003. Okay, I'll hold that
Fiamso is getting engaged upon Godfire. He's looking for that possible assassination. His GA will be popped and he will resurrect and should die as soon as he respawns. That is a nice cast. Inhibitor in the mid lane will be traded back though. That is a Nature's Grasp from Yorick Mori. He's looking for a potential re-engage. However, Oldboys, they trade an inhibitor for a pick.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to go back to the interesting stat. Paddle Star deals 1,250 damage. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble, if landed and then broken, deals 420.
However, I have to interrupt you because Supreme and KZ, they're training along the middle. The kill from KZ will come out and he gets on top in that 80 carry jewel. However, it's not over yet. Random jumps forward, he gets the assassination. Kevin is still alive. Can he be the hero of the fight? Chimaera needs Fiamso is dropping low on HP. Can he find the nukes? He drops down to Promo. Those are the carries dead from Oldboys. Only Red and Dory are alive. Not only the Jax is the person to defend the whole base, and Chimaera, they might have just won the game.
Yeah, 4 members alive right now for Chimaera, and 30 seconds on the death timer for Supreme and Mad Life to come up. I'm not sure if Sativa can actually defend this.
Sativa tries to go in with the counter-attack. He gets this down to Nizik. However, he's just running him down with those twin fangs. He's still going in for the kills. You still have 10 seconds on Supreme. The first turret is under attack. The second turret is now going to be taken down. And I do not think that Red Ape can do anything. The Nexus is the target. Supreme has now respawned, but the health is dropping too fast. And Chimaera will take the 2-1 win over Oldboys.
And that all came down to the Lucian pick onto Supreme at the start. Sure, Retep Sativa was able to pick up a counter kill onto Lucian almost instantly afterwards, but your Kai'Sa is your big damage dealer in the fight. The Jax was not online yet, and if you are Oldboys there, you needed to poke them out with your Zoe before starting a fight.
In the end, Chimaera, with the early lead they have gotten, it was enough for them to close the game out. But I have to commend Oldboys because, well, they did try. Some of these fights looked close. In the end, a clutch AD carry duel in that middle lane took Supreme out, and then Fiamso couldn't carry it alone. And the final victory will go to Chimaera.
Right, so we're going to have the straw poll up, and go on, who's your MVP?s?
I don't know. I don't know, guys. Good luck.
Right, I'm gonna give it Fiamzu for Oldboys. I feel like he played really well, consistent across all 3 games. But for the side of Chimaera, I feel like Godfrey played really well, especially this game. KZZ played well in game 2 because it was all about him. But I think that my MVP is going to go to Nizik. I think that he played well across all 3 games, with the exception of where he played against Yorick, because there's nothing you can do against the Yorick.
I think he definitely did play well in the game 3. However, Yorick Mori on that Vladimir in game 2 has also managed to find these top lane leads. But I mean, it is always the team effort. It is nearly always the fact that the whole team has managed to step up. Though Godfrey actually, on that Pike in game 3, I was really impressed with how he was playing. Later on in these fights, he struggled to have the same impact due to, well, late game assassin. It's the same story. It is hard to find these picks because people get more items, they have more survivability, and, well, it just doesn't always stack up, but he was still playing this game insanely well.
And if we take a quick look over to the tables, then Chimaera will move up. I think they're on 5 points now.
They are on 5.
So they're fairly close to a promo spot now.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the standings will pan out. However, you have to really remember that this game actually ties Chimaera and Oldboys with the rest of the round robin. So Chimaera are actually in a pretty reliable spot to get playoffs, and Oldboys, they are only 1 point behind. So both of these teams, they still have their playoff hopes alive, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how they will play in the future, how they will adapt, and whether some of them will actually make it.
Yeah, and I feel like the Oldboys hype train has ended. They got that win off onto Virgo, but since then they just haven't shown what they showed in that game. Arguably, the Rek'Sai caught out Virgo, but since then, with the Rek'Sai bans, with the Kennen bans, they just haven't shown the potential really to make it to playoffs, I don't think.
And I think I agree with you, the hype train has derailed, but I still have faith in Oldboys, because maybe they don't have that initial hype that I saw them after Virgo, but they are still looking like a fairly solid middle of the pack kind of team. And those teams, they can make playoffs if they clutch at the last weeks. So there is always stuff to look forward to. Let's take a look at the MVP votes, guys. You didn't really seem to be voting a lot. For Chimaera, it is it is Godfrey having 2 votes, and then everyone but Nizik having 1. And for Oldboys, Fiamzu has the most votes, followed by Supreme.
Yeah, and I feel like that's reasonable. Godfrey did play really well, and as I mentioned, Fiamzu very consistent across all 3 games for Oldboys.
Alright, then, is there anything else that you want to mention before we cut out the stream for today?
We should probably mention to everyone to get involved with, you know, the Discord, Twitter, Facebook. You can see all of that below the Twitch chat. Also, the next game will be on the 20th of February, so that's going to be Wednesday, and that's going to be Hillerod playing against Sphinx. And if any of you saw the Hillerod game yesterday, I'm sure you don't want to miss this game either.
Yeah, no, you don't. The link is the links to all of that he said are in below. If you are new to the stream, join the Discord. We are a nice community, I swear. I'm definitely not toxic in general, chat. And also a quick shout out to the sponsor Gamers Class, which teach you how to be better at the game. If you're interested, check them out. And for tonight, I was Kachka, and I was joined by
Milky Zero. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to.
Yeah,
I
was handing it over, and we wish you good night.
All right, good night, guys.